her thing. She was a double-digit scorer last year for Arlington, so lose her is a big blow. Then you've got Taylor Dupree. She's at Rhodes College doing her thing. She was the big man down low last year. Bria Hampton is also at Austin Peay. Didn't have her in the back half of the season last year, but she would have been a double-digit point-per-game score if she was on the floor. She was that good. And then Kiana Coburn is also doing her thing at community college. But we've lost a lot of guys, but as we said, we're still a good basketball team.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to Coach Shields and the program she's kind of building here because, like Jake said, they're still 11-1. They sit at 26th in the state rankings right now, and they lost 4 players to college ball. So it just shows the kind of culture Coach Shields is building here, and that even though they're losing some of these star players, they still know how to kind of rebuild. And of course, you still have Brittany Wells. So.
Yeah, and she's an ex-WNBAer, right? She won a championship her first year as a rookie. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to recruit. The girls she's brought in here, even though you lose 4 seniors, they know how to get it done. But the girl you really want to watch for, as Brent said, is Brittany Wells. She does her thing in the AAU circuit, but she's also been really good this year, averaging 14 points per game. She is the definition of a true point guard. She's a better passer than she is a shooter, but she can do anything on the floor you want her to. Watch Brittany Wells tonight. She's going to put on a show.
Yeah, and speaking of putting on a show, we have our sideline reporter, Carly Bertling, with us. Carly, what do you have for us?
Last season, the Arlington Tigers were able to make it to the district tournament in which they played against Collierville High School. Then senior Lindsay Long was able to make a last-second buzzer-beater shot, winning against Collierville, and the team advancing on to regionals. We're hoping to see the same intensity with our new group of players. And I'm taking a look at the stats, and this season, Brittany Wells and Taylor Miller are leading in best overall shooting average, and Jasmine Ross averaging in 14 points per game. This season, we're hoping to see the same momentum throughout the whole game.
Welcome back, Tiger Nation, to the first basketball live stream of the new year. I'm here alongside Jake Stube. I'm Brent Lyons. We're going to get you going right off the tip for this girls basketball matchup, Arlington Tigers against the Collierville Dragons. A lot of back and forth action so far to start. You haven't missed anything yet. It is still 0-0.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this game, mainly because freshman Taylor Miller, daughter of Coach Tommy Miller, new football guy from Collierville, is on the roster. Look to see what she can do tonight.
That she will be wearing number 14 if you aren't familiar with her. We're going to see how she fares with the Lady Tigers tonight. Looking at your starting lineup, since we did not get a chance to give those to you right off the bat, for your Tigers, it is going to be number 4, Brittany Wells, taking up the point guard. Right now shooting free throws, Jasmine Ross is going to help head up that backcourt duo. Like we mentioned, Tierney Kelsey is not starting. I don't know. Oh, yes, she is. I'm sorry, I didn't see her. We're getting back into the new year. You got to cut me some slack here. Taylor Miller, number 14, as well as heading up. The cleanup crew will be number 24, Cambly Iverson, I believe it is. Collierville's going to have the ball as they take it up the court. They're sitting at 8-7 so far in the year, so it'll be a big win for them if they can get one on the road against Arlington. Tierney Kelsey's going to take the ball down the court, goes straight into the paint. Jasmine Ross, quick little flick up for the layup, but it's no good. Fighting for the rebound, Collierville's going to have it, clearing it out, setting up a new possession, and hoping to get some points on the board here.
Yeah, good to see Tierney Kelsey there take a step up, driving it to the paint rather than settling for a shot. I like to see that from her.
Seems like there's a couple nerves that people need to get out right off the bat here. The possession arrow has not been favoring either team. It's kind of been going up in the air. Still 1-0, so hopefully we'll see some shots go up and fall. But other than that, Collierville's going to have the ball, taking it up. That is Shikuku with the ball right now. Rogers gets the ball stolen in the open court. Miller is fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
And you're seeing Taylor Miller there. Even though she's inexperienced, she's only been playing a couple games in high school. She was able to read that pass and steal it for the pickoff to get fouled on the layup. That shows a lot of intensity, but also that shows the physicality as well, being able to take it for a near end one.
And we talked about it in the pregame, but what I think Coach Shields has done a really good job of is getting these players ready for these moments, no matter if they're freshmen, seniors, or if they haven't played basketball. She has put a program together that is built for this kind of thing. As she makes both free throws, they go up 3-0 as Miller has got her first points on the board for the night.
Arlington playing this man-to-man matchup zone kind of scheme. I really like to see this from the Tigers.
Maxwell is going to get a spot up three. That's no good. Looked like a good shot. She was wide open. Arlington's going to have to do a better job covering on that as Brittany Wells goes straight into the paint. No good. Good defense there by Maxwell. It's going to be a tie-up jump ball. That's going to go back to Arlington. Possession next time will favor Collierville, however.
And again, Brittany Wells with the good rebound, only standing at 5'7", able to drive all the way down the court and get fouled on that layup. That's really impressive for Brittany, taking it to the hole early.
An early sub for Coach Shields. She brings in number 32, Megan Lindsay. We'll see what Coach Shields is trying to do here as Brittany Wells knocks down a three right off the bat. She's 1 for 2 to start the game.
And Arlington coming out in this full court press. They're already up 6-0, but they're looking to get out to an early lead.
Big steal by Wells. That was off number 23, Camille Martin. A missed shot there for the Tigers, but they're doing a really good job of playing defense on this team, minus the foul there by Miller.
And Collierville, they're trying to match Arlington's pace, but little do they know, that's why they're 11-1. They like to play fast, they get on transition, they press you. Collierville has to slow down the pace if they're going to have a chance in this game.
And something the Lady Tigers are very, very good at is playing at any pace. They can play fast or slow. It doesn't really matter. They can control the ball game no matter what. That's why they're 26th in the state, and we're seeing it so far here tonight. Maxwell has the ball, and she kicks it out to Jennings. Number 22, someone to look out for tonight is Burdette.
And again, Arlington extending out to almost half court on this defense. This pressure is really eliminating anything that the Dragons want to do.
You can see that the Tigers are keeping them outside on the wing, not allowing any easy shots. Like we see, they just had to force up a layup there, and Arlington's going to get the ball back. Really strong defense here to start. Wells drives straight to the basket. Little floater, no good. Rebound goes to number 10. Shikuku up for the go-ahead pass.
And see what happens when the Dragons try to play that fast pace. They immediately got the rebound, and the first thing she did was dribble the ball without even looking the other way. If you're going to beat this Arlington team who is veteran and experienced, you cannot afford to do those little fundamental things that can lose you games.
Yeah, one of the keys to this game for Collierville, if they want to stay in it for deep into this game, they're going to have to learn how to control their own game and control the pace of the game. Miller with a really good inside pass to number 24, and it drops. Really good drop back. Fell right into the bucket.
Good take by Styx Nelson there, taking over for the graduated Taylor Dupree. She's doing really well right now.
Collierville finally starting to break into Arlington's incredible defense, but another turnover for Collierville. They're just starting to pile up, and we are only 4 minutes into the game.
Arlington on an 8-0 run right now, and you can see why. If Collierville is not going to keep up with the points, Arlington averages 65 points per game, and then basically all of them have been wins. They're going to outmatch their teams that they play by 22 points. Really impressive there from the Tigers.
And the big difference is that Arlington averages 65, but Collierville only averages 51, and their points per game for opponents is very, very similar at 47 for Collierville and 43 for Arlington. So you're going to have to find a way to make up points somehow because there's a very large differential there. So Collierville's going to have to do that by playing their own pace, and you've seen that it is not working going at the pace that Arlington's giving them so far.
And it's fair to mention the division records, although it is early. Arlington 2-0, but Collierville is also 3-0 in the district. So when you're looking at the rankings, Collierville down 8-0 when they look like they're first in the district for District 15.
And at the end of the day, district is really what matters when it comes to this tournament seeding towards the end of the year. That's how you get into state play. So being good in district play is very, very important. So Collierville on the right track with that. Tierney Kelsey kicks it over to Brittany Wells. A little finger roll. Oh my goodness. And this is why we talk about Wells, number 4, is because she knows how to do. She can do anything.
Wells
She's
is very
one of those
smooth.
players.
She's very smooth on the offensive end. It looked like ease right there getting to the lane.
The ball is hit by one of the Arlington players. It's going to stay with Collierville. Arlington running a full court press, which is kind of causing Collierville to go into a little frenzy. They found a way to get the ball there, but it is still not clean basketball. That's going to be Burdette drawing the foul there. She's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Good move there to get inside. They really need to get some points up on the board, and if they can go inside and get that by playing hard in the paint, then that'll work.
And Carla Burdette is easily the biggest woman on the floor. If they're going to have a chance in this game, she's got to get involved in the paint. They need to feed her the ball as much as possible.
Burdette misses the first. these free points are kind of the things that you're going to need to pick up. If you can draw fouls on the offensive end, you need to make the free throws when you're given an opportunity to score. Knocks down the second. A couple subs will come in. Kenise Wilkins, number 1, is going to come in, as well as number 34, Sydney Hurt. So kind of getting both ends of the spectrum, someone to come in and match what Burdett is coming in by being one of the bigger players on the floor, and then Wilkins, who is a good ball handler that I'm sure will help Brittany handle the ball. Wells has it up top, starting to direct the offense.
Collierville switching to his zone early, trying to keep Arlington out of the paint, forcing him to shoot the outside shot.
Wells is just so good at getting in the paint. She gives it, dishes it off to Ross, and the shooting foul is going to be called. She's going to go to the line for another 2 free throws.
And it's good to see Jasmine Ross out there doing her thing. She actually had an injury earlier in the year. To see her out on the court, being healthy, being successful, averaging 10 points per game, that's good to see from Jasmine.
Last year, Jasmine was more of a bench piece last year with all the girls that were on the team last year that ended up going to play basketball in college. So now she's really getting her moment to shine alongside Brittany Wells. So it's really cool to see this duo kind of forming here early on in the season.
And Jasmine averaging 12 points per game, so better than I assumed. Jasmine definitely has to get involved in the scoring column if they want to win big.
Well, I think she has 4 right now, so she's doing her job early. All points coming from the line, of course, but points are points. That is going to be Burdett knocking down the 3, has all 4 points for Collierville. She's trying to keep them in it. That was Tierney Kelsey, but the offensive rebound goes to Kenise Wilkins. She gets it out to Jasmine Ross, and Brittany Wells is going to slow things down and set the pace back up for the Tigers.
Yeah, if they don't get out in transition, they've got to slow down the offense to get the best shot possible.
Kenise Wilkins with a 3 ball from a pretty risky pass from Brittany Wells, but it pays off. Nobody was there to guard Wilkins, and she takes advantage of the free bucket opportunity.
And Wilkins right off the bench getting that 3 ball. Good to see her be heated early.
Deep pass inside for Collierville. Right off the rim, no good. That was number 11, Lily Ann Jennings. She's taken a decent amount of shots here tonight. You can see that they're trying to work to get her the ball. She has no points, though.
And Tierney, so far, 0 points on the night, averaging 13 points per game. Like I said in the pregame show, she is that spot-up shooter that you can always go to. If Arlington wants to get this lead and get up early, obviously you take the layups all day. But Tierney Kelsey is also capable of getting hot. So look to see if she can get the ball.
Arlington does a very good job of distributing the ball with lead ball handler Brittany Wells right there. Tacks on more to the scoring column. She is up to 6 for the night as the Tigers continue to roll 17-4 here. Maxwell has the ball, kicks it out. Collierville trying to set something up to get some points on the board here. It's going to be a foul. Looks like maybe a little bit of a push there from number 34, Hurt.
And Wells is that true point guard. She knows how to pass, and that's her best asset. She can pass, but she can also knock down the free open 3. And her being able to do that just opens up so many lanes for all the other players. I'm sure the Tigers love having Wells at that point guard spot.
Shikuku has the ball up top. She's trying to direct this offense to get something going. So far, it's all Burdett. She has the ball, looking for a shot. Kicks it back out to Rogers. Rogers sets it up again. The Tigers playing incredible defense here. It's going to be Lily Ann Jennings. That's no good. Fight for the rebound. Rogers has it, and we're going to set it back up top again. Tigers doing so good on defense.
Ooh.
Looked like it could have been a carry there, but nonetheless, Shikuku's going to get her first points of the night.
And the 2 girls that came in as the most hype for this Lady Dragons team are the ones with all the points right now. They've got to rely on their playmakers. And one thing, they've been getting in the paint, but also their 3 balls have not been the most open. They've got to continue to drive the ball if they're going to get open 3s.
Brittany Wells called for the carry, making up for the call that was not called at the other end. It is going to be a turnover for the Tigers, their second of the night.
And Coach Patty Gardner for the Lady Dragons also has a history of her own. All of her kids play college basketball. She's used to this. If anybody knows how to get their team out of a hole, it's Gardner.
Well, it looks like we have a little bit of competition on both sidelines then, because not only does she have pro experience, but so does Coach Shields playing in the WNBA with a championship ring of her own. So we have some historic coaching here tonight.
Sydney Hurt with that take, also taking over from the loss of Taylor Dupree last year and Berea Hampton. She was involved last year. She was able to guard Mallory Collier really well in those Bartlett matchups. Let's see how she can do on Burdett, as she's one of the top in the district.
And there's Tierney Kelsey getting going with her first 2 points. A nice mid-range jumper. Kind of a dying art in the game today, but it's still nice to see those pull-up shooters, and that's going to be another turnover for Collierville.
Turnovers are killing the Dragons right now, again, because of that full-court press by the Tigers. They're able to cause chaos in that backcourt.
Arlington electing to go mostly small here. 4 guards are out on the court. Lots of very big scorers, though. No Wells, however, so they're trying something a little new here, but we know that these girls can score. That's going to be Miller for 3. That's good. What a shot from Miller. She's 2 for 2 for the night so far.
And she was on varsity as an 8th grader last year, already coming over to Arlington and being able to start as a freshman. And like she talked about, go watch Men in Hoodies, when she was on the show, she talked about how her and her dad push each other a lot. Tommy expects excellence, and so does Taylor out of each other. They got a good family bond that pushes them to be the best they can be.
Tierney Kelsey called for the foul there. Just a little bit of a nice nudge is what I would call it. That's going to be Burdett, no good on the mid-range. Tried to get in there for the rebound, but it looks like it's going to go to Arlington. It will.
And Arlington, as we've said, using their speed, because if you look at it, the Lady Dragons almost outmatched them in the height category at every single position, yet Arlington is just able to speed them up so well to where it puts so much pressure on them.
Kelsey looks like she's going to hold the ball for the last shot. It's no good, and the rebound's going to go to Collierville, and that will wrap up the first quarter. It is 22-6. Your Arlington Tigers are leading the Collierville Dragons. We'll be right back after this.
Arlington High School. As one of the premier high schools in the state of Tennessee, Arlington High School is proud to be a place for everyone. Whether it be an academic focus with more than 60 honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses, an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, becoming a playmaker in a top competitive sports program, or excelling in the second-to-none PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Learn more about Arlington High School at www.acsk-12.org.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. Sorry about that. It is 22-6. Your Tigers lead over the Collierville Dragons early on in the second quarter. It was all Arlington in the first quarter. They could not miss. But here we go early in the second. Brittany Wells has been put back into this game. Mid-range jumper right off the bat is no good, and the rebound will go to Collierville.
And more on Wells, she received a lot of letters from SEC schools. Mallory Collier, currently in District 15, is the best recruit, but I would put Brittany up against her any day.
Wilkins is called for the personal. It's going to be called a reach-in foul. That is going to go on Wilkins. Chukuku picks up the foul. Remains Collierville ball as they are just trying to stay in this game, but nothing seems to be working out for them. Maxwell has it, looking to get something going.
And just look at Kenise Wilkins. I mean, completely outmatched, yet she's still able to stay in front of the taller offensive player.
This defensive front is very, very strong for the Tigers. They haven't let up at all. Only 6 points allowed in the first quarter. That is an extremely low number considering that Collierville is averaging 51 a game. Another reach-in foul is called. Some lightning quick hands here for the Tigers for the most part, but it's those times that they don't get the ball that they're going to get called for the foul every single time.
And you've already got that 16-point lead if you're the Tigers. Just play conservative. You don't have to score 100 on them. Just do the little things right, and this game should be yours, as they've been able to get out to an early lead, even without all the height in the world. They're just so fast on the offensive and defensive end.
And April James is going to sub in for Jasmine Ross, her first playing time of the game. We'll see what she brings to the Tigers tonight. Shikuku's working the ball inside, 4 Tigers on her, kicks it out to Rogers. Rogers inside the paint, and that's no good. So the scoring column is empty still for anybody who is not named Shikuku or Burdette tonight.
And they've been playing a lot of minutes. They've been in this entire game. And with Arlington's press, we'll see if they get tired.
Looks like Wells may have got a little lazy there on the pass. A couple of fouls it looked like, but no call. There we go. They'll finally pick up the call there. That's going to send Sydney Hurt to the line for her first 2 shots of the night.
And when you've been pressed and you're tired and you're now down nearly 20 points, you're going to get a little frustrated. You see there 3 really big contact plays from the Dragons trying to get Arlington a little bit uncomfortable, and that's what they're going to have to do. As I've said a lot of times already, Arlington is faster and they're more experienced. They're going to push you to the limit. Does Collierville have the physicality to wear down these Tigers? We're going to see, but right now it's not panning out.
The first free throw is no good for 34 Hurt. She'll have a second chance, though, to make up for the first one. Second shot is good. Finishes 50% from that trip from the line. Collierville, a couple of subs will be made, including Hurt. Hurt will take a seat after playing some good minutes, as Sticks Nelson's going to come back into the game. Press is still being used by the Tigers, showing no relent on this Collierville Dragons offense. 3-pointer well off the mark. Collierville clears out, Arlington clears out the rebound. Brittany Wells is working the ball up the court, a little double team. She's going to kick it out to Kelsey. No good on the nice layup. Sticks Nelson is going to put the ball back up and in. Good offensive rebound for the Tigers, and they're really just playing all around good basketball.
Arlington's playing too fast. The color commentator doesn't get anything to say. This defense for Arlington is so tenacious. Collierville can barely go a second without giving up the ball.
Call it travel on the Tigers. The turnovers have been few, but they are still there, and that is something that you can always work on. So making sure to limit these turnovers, even in what seems like a blowout so far, will be important for the Tigers. They're going to call back as a timeout is going to be called. It is 25-6, your Tigers lead.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. I can't lie and say it was easy. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Your Tigers lead. A little bit of a short timeout for the Collierville Dragons. They were only in the huddle for about 15 seconds compared to the entire 30 was used by the Tigers. So maybe some quick notes there for Collierville, even though they're down 19. I'm not sure, but Coach Shields had a lot to say even though they're up 19.
And Brittany Wells looking to facilitate the offense here. She's been that go-to player at the top of the key, making all things happen for almost every single one of her teammates.
Wells got off the block so fast from the three-point line, getting down into the lane was so quick, couldn't finish, but another really good opportunity to score. Collierville goes in, and that shot is well off the mark. And it is going to be April James taking up the ball. She kicks it off to Kelsey. Kelsey looks to be operating the offense. The screen is coming from Wells. Does nothing with it.
And you see what the Lady Dragons are doing here. They put in Chloe Luss here to try to make it really hard for them to drive the paint. They've got a lot more size down there. We'll see if Arlington is forced to take the outside shot, something that they are capable of, but they haven't done much tonight.
And Collierville has gone back into the man-to-man defense. They saw that the zone was not working and decided, let's go back to what we started with. So we're going to see if this can maybe, the second time around, can be a better use of the defense as they take the ball up, still in a press for Arlington. Another turnover, and April James gets an easy layup to push it over 20 points for the lead. This game is getting out of hand very quickly.
And I think that just speaks to the talent in this district for Arlington. I mean, Collierville destroyed Germantown by 30, and Arlington's out here doing the same.
Wow, another layup for Brittany Wells. She's just facilitating the game in another level here tonight. It is 29-6. Collierville has not scored in the second quarter so far. And the press is still being applied by Arlington. There is no signs of letting up here in the first half by Coach Shields.
And again, to speak to the district, is very top-heavy. Bartlett and Arlington really the only contenders in this district. As I said, Germantown is a solid team in this district. Collierville beat them pretty bad, and Arlington's out here, as I said, doing the same. Arlington and Bartlett, their talent that they have is just completely different than anything else that this state has seen.
And there was a no call down there on Nelson. Collierville takes the ball down, and it goes out of bounds. It is going to be Collierville ball side out, as they are in desperate need of a bucket here.
And I think that just speaks to the recruiting of Coach Shields and Coach Wes Shapley. I mean, they're able to offer so much that the other schools aren't. And it's not even facilities or anything like that. It's strictly that they love their players, that they are good coaches, and they know how to win. And that's what's so gravitating for these young women.
And look at both Shikuku and Miller getting their hands dirty on the ground, going onto the floor for the ball. Some hustle in there as the ball is still loose. Wow. And all of these girls are just diving all over the floor to get the ball. A lot of hustle is being shown.
And yeah, exactly. That's such a testament to coaching. You're up 23 points, and I don't know about you, but if you're up 23 points, you're not going to give your best effort, but still, you've got 4 starters in this game, and they're still going all out. Arlington's got these girls doing the right thing.
I don't know about you, but if I'm down 23 points, I don't know if I'm going to dive on the ground for a ball either. I don't want to scrape my knee. Ball is still diving on the ground. The entire last minute of this game has been played on the ground. The ball has been loose, but everybody on the floor is going out for this ball, not letting anything go to chance. They want to get this back in their favor.
And you're right about that, Brent. I mean, this district is so competitive. The circuit in this city is always going to be competitive. Every team wants to win all they have, but really for Collierville, you can't make this loss as damaging as it looks right now.
Miller gets a wide open three. No good on that one, but the offensive rebound is going to go to April James. Brittany kind of taking her time. It's hard to tell because she always does things so quick, but this is a slow Arlington offense running right now. Kind of milking the clock, but at the same time, letting the fact that Collierville's down 23 kind of sink in.
And I love the savviness of Wells. Not saying she played like him, but Luka Doncic does the exact same thing. He kind of lulls you to sleep with how slow he is, but then he can burst with speed when he wants to. Brittany Wells emulating one of the best players in the NBA.
And that is Tierney Kelsey, just proving what Jake said earlier about how she is a bucket. She knows how to get points, and even though she wasn't hot early, she figured out a way to get on the scoring column, and now she's up to 6. And Shikuku's just trying to do all she can here, but just the incredible defense by Arlington finally finds her way all the way down into the paint, but still cannot score. Another missed opportunity for the Collierville Dragons, and Jennings is going to miss that one.
And that's a good shot from Burdett, too. It was wide open, but you're so wore down from this press. It was a little short.
Yeah, and Burdett didn't take that shot. It was Ann Jennings, but, you know, I bet it would have still been a good shot if she took it, too.
That was Burdett. It was 22.
It was 11.
Oh, I thought it was 22.
Either way, they missed the shot.
We'll go back and look at the replay.
Yeah, we'll look at the replay later.
But, yeah, I mean, if you're shooting three-pointers when you're down big, you're already tired. Of course it's going to be hard. Collierville running out of options. This halftime break might be the best thing they need right now.
And you have to think that you think being down 25 is tiring. Imagine being down 25 and you're still getting pressed 15 and a half minutes into this game.
And this isn't rec league either. I mean, there's no 20-point limits where you can't cross half court anymore. This is big girl basketball. And when you play big girl basketball, they can do whatever they want, especially when your coach is that intense.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't keep up in this league, but they sure know what they're doing.
Checking in for the Tigers.
And for Collierville, man, they scored 56 points last time they played against Germantown. Only 6 on the board right now. That's going to be about 14 if you keep up this pace. Arlington's defense is just so tenacious. Collierville, again, is just running out of options. Not much they can do except rely on their playmakers.
Foul charge to the Tigers, number 14.
Yeah, and it is going to be number 22, Burdett, up to the line now.
I think that's number 11, Brent. That's Jennings.
No, that's Burdett. Jennings is on the bench right now.
Oh, okay.
She got subbed out at the dead ball.
Gotcha. After watching Burdett shoot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. We'll check the replay on that one. Burdett misses the first free throw. Up for the second again is no good.
Hey!
So there's the first points of the quarter for the Collierville Dragons. They end the slump and get on the board just before halftime.
Yeah, she was walking in Memphis on that one, but the refs let it go. When you're down 30 points, I think you can let that go for sure.
The refs did not let that one go. This is going to be Collierville ball. Another turnover for the Tigers. It doesn't mean as much when you're up big like this, but still, it's the little things that matter, especially when you get to bigger games like Bartlett.
Exactly, and like you said, when you played big teams like Bartlett, you're probably going to be forced to play press most of the time. And when you're pressing most of the game and you're already doing this against these quality teams, it's going to prepare you for the big dogs. Love this from Coach Shields, although it is a little disrespectful to the Dragons.
Hey, so Cuckoo going cuckoo on that drive down to the paint, making it look easy, even though this defense has been doing a lot all night. She finds a way to finally get inside the paint and make it count. That is Burdett. The foul is going to be called on April James. Yes, sorry, it took me a second.
Megan Lindsay, her first.
And Megan Lindsay was not a key contributor last year whatsoever. She was really on the bench for most of last season. Now, she was the sixth man in. She was the first one in. And to see her making an impact, and not necessarily in the scoring column, in every little thing that you have, it's good to see from Megan Lindsay, who has not really had a spotlight since she came to Arlington.
And it's not like the game is getting too much closer right now, but and I'll wait so that I don't spoil her free throw. They are now on a 6-0 run. I didn't want to give her a little announcer's curse there by making her miss. So it's a little 6-0 run for the Dragons to end the quarter. We'll see if they can keep that up going into halftime as well. Well, it's gone. Jasmine Ross knocks it in, makes it 33-12. Tigers back up over 20 with just under 30 seconds to go. Sakuku maneuvering in the paint, kicks it out. Lazier for three. And one?
I believe it was a three-pointer, but Taylor Miller pushed down low, leading to an extra free throw. I guess that acts as an and one. But either way, Collierville back on that run. 9-2 run right now for the Lady Dragons.
Tigers need to be careful allowing points like this to just come off the board at the end of the quarter. It could start to add up, even if it does look like they're just up 17. It could add up if they start to go on a run.
And something to look forward to for the Dragons. They forced 9 fouls this half. Even though you're down a bigger margin, this is what Arlington was down against Bartlett in that district championship last year, and they're able to come back. If you're forcing the Tigers in foul trouble, you may have a shot at going on a run.
And it looks like Brittany wants to take this last shot, and they're going to call an illegal screen on number 34, Sydney Hurt.
Foul charge to the Tigers.
And that's going to be 10 fouls. That'd be in the double bonus if they had more time in this half. Really impressive here from the Dragons, using their physicality to cause fouls.
We'll see what Rogers can do with 2 seconds on the clock. She puts it up. It is blocked by Miller, and that's the first half. Arlington is up 33-16 in what has been a pretty dominant first half for the Tigers. A little bit of a run there by Collierville, but that is going to be the first half. Arlington 33, Collierville 16.
It's here, at Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together
to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
to see where we're going. We adapt
because we know there's a world of opportunity for all.
We thrive under pressure
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think,
create,
achieve.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Welcome back, Tiger Nation. It is halftime of the girls varsity basketball game against the Collierville Dragons. It has been all Arlington so far. So Jake, kind of to start us off, what has been the keys to Arlington's dominance so far this game?
I mean, as we said, they are relentless on the press. They're not going to give it up. They've been past half court the entire game, and what you're going to do, you're going to wear out the other team, you're going to get them tired, you're going to do all these things in order to make it tiring on the offensive end. Their shots are going to be short. They don't want to drive the paint because they're exhausted. And when you're already down 20, what's the point of taking a layup if you're a high school player, right? College teams and NBA teams, they have the discipline. They have the charisma to know that this game is long, right? Also, it's a 48-minute game in the NBA. When the game is long, you've got the time. So what Collierville needs to do, go back to the basics, drive the ball, kick it out. But first and foremost, what you got to do is you got to break the press.
Yeah, and you kind of gave us a little insight on what it's looked like for them. But Collierville went on a mini run to end the half. So what do they need to do to kind of keep that in the front? Like, what needs to be the main focus at halftime if you're in the locker room with Collierville right now?
Well, they forced a lot of turnovers. They're able to get out in transition and do exactly what Arlington has done. They were just able to flip the script. And when you do that, when you drive the paint, you're going to force Arlington in foul trouble. And like we said, if you get their playmakers in foul trouble, this team is a lot faster than you. They're a lot more determined than you. And if you have those bench players in and you're still Collierville, let's keep in mind they beat the Germantown Lady Red Devils by more than 30 points. They are capable of scoring in bunches. You just got to get better shot selection. And the way you do that is you beat the press and you drive to the paint.
And speaking of someone who can score in bunches, it has been not all Brittany Wells, but she still overwhelms the game. We have a special story on Brittany Wells, and it has not all been highs for her. She has had her own battles in the trenches. So take a look at this story about a special player from Arlington High School.
Is Brittany Wells.
My name is Brittany Wells, and this is my basketball journey. I started playing basketball when I was like 5 or 6. I grew up around it. My dad and my sister both played, so just watching them, I kind of just picked up on it and decided I wanted to play. My dad was really hard on me. He still is to this day. And just like seeing how successful he was in his time he played, it just showed me that I could do anything. And just working hard, it just motivates me. Seeing progress, it motivates me. My coaches, my friends, my family, they're all very supportive. And my inspiration would have to be my sister because of her size. She does a lot. Like coaches told her she was too small, but like now on the college level, she's won MVP, all tournament player of the year at her college. So it's just big inspiration. So I was playing at Houston High School. I was playing with Naya Morant, Deja Richmond, just some of the, people who really helped. And it was going good, and then I tore my ACL in a game against Briarcrest.
Little that I know is that they were playing at Collierville High School against Briarcrest, and I was sitting in the stands just, watching Britt play because I hadn't seen them play in a while. So, of course, I'm always support my babies. And so just in the midst of the game, I'm not sure if she made a hard cut or whatever the case may be. She ended up going down.
I thought it was over. I thought my career, everything just went blank. I was depressed, had to go through therapy, physical therapy, had to go through surgery, and it was just a dark place in my life. So my mindset right now is I just have to leave it all on the court. It's my last year. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to hold back. So with that being said, every game I just have to bring it because it's my last year. I mean, that's all.
I have no doubt in my mind that Britt will have a great season. She's surrounded around good players as well. Everybody pushes one another. She makes the team look better every day. So there's no doubt in my mind that she wouldn't have a great season. I know she's going to perform well every game, and Britt told me that she's going to take me back to the state and to get a state title. So I trust that, I believe that, and I can't wait to see how far she takes us.
If I continue to work hard, I feel like in a few years I could be playing WNBA, one of the biggest women athletes of all time, just with my work ethic, and allow me to, or I could just play overseas, anything. Just feel like it would help me a lot.
Basketball would take Britt as far as she want to go, as far as she wants to go. Just really can't dictate that. It's on her. But I feel like, me personally, she can really get far. She's a really good player, and she do really great things on the floor. She's smart. She know the game. So I think basketball can take her far. It's just on her.
Brittany is a soft-spoken, sweet young lady who is very humble. Man, off the floor, she's a great kid. I never really have any problems out of her. She's in love, I can say that. But on the court, man, she is a dog. I can say that for sure. She's a dog. She plays her heart out. She's very, very skilled. I don't know if she get it from me or her dad or her sister or her mom or whoever it is, but she's a very skilled player, fun to watch, and I see her.
It is almost the end of halftime here at Tiger Stadium. We're going to send it over to Carly Bertling real quick for a halftime report.
Thanks. So from the beginning of this game, Arlington's offense has been playing amazing, with Taylor Miller playing an outstanding first half. That being said, Collierville's defense is having a difficult time keeping up with the pace, and Arlington's defense is just doing amazing overall. So let's see how the second half plays out.
Thank you, Carly. And as we get going in the second half of this game, it is really going to be a test to see if Collierville can hang in there and just get back into this game. Maxwell's going to give it to Burdett, who tries driving in. A new face here for the night. Martin gets into the game. Maxwell has it back up top.
And again, Collierville slowing down the pace, seeing if they can drive in and get an easy bucket in the lane. That's exactly what they need to do, but you can't do that. You cannot have turnovers if you're trying to get back in this game.
Yeah, Rogers is going to get called for a backcourt violation. Doesn't bode well when you're trying to make a comeback story, but there's still a lot of time left in the second half, so we'll see if they can slow down Wells in this Arlington offense.
Yeah, as we said, this is a long game. You've got plenty of time to do what you need to do. Collierville has to take their time and get good shots, but again, remember, this is high school basketball. No shot clock. They can take as long as they want to. Collierville's going to have to get tired and try to put them in a bad position.
And it looks like Arlington is going to play that slow basketball that Collierville is playing. Again, getting down on the ground is going to be a jump ball in favor of Arlington. The next one will favor Collierville.
And what Arlington is coming out and doing, Coach Shields knows that they are tired, right? If you just hold the ball up in the top of the key, they are forced to come at you because you've got to make up for this lead. Good coaching there by Coach Shields.
Turnover by Arlington leads to a fast break by Rogers. They're going to call the charge. Even though it was kind of an impressive bucket there by Rogers, kind of just flipped it up looking for the N1 and it somehow fell. It is going to go Arlington's way on the charge.
Yeah, this sideline ref over here laughing about it. I think that was a clear block. Tierney Kelsey moving at the bottom of the paint while Brittany Wells decides to put a defender down in the paint too.
Can't finish the play, but a really good spin move there by Brittany Wells as Arlington is just saving the ball. Brittany Wells gets it back up. It's going to be Tierney Kelsey with a good pump fake inside the lane. They're going to call a foul, count the basket. Tierney Kelsey's going to go to the line. A little bit of a weird way to tell me as the referee that it is going to be an N1, but you know, I always love new hand signals, so I'll take it.
Well, he just did it to where it was like confusing as a charge or as an N1, but
he kind of wanted to get the mix of both.
There you go. Looked like that Top Gun move right there as they were sending the planes down the runway.
Either way, she did go down the runway, and she hit that floater, got the N1 as well. Maxwell leading the ball up top for Collierville. Another turnover. Brittany Wells is leading the charge here. Kicks it in, Jasmine Ross. Second time she's got an easy layup at the other end. And just like that, it is back to a 22-point Tiger lead.
And it's right back to the press as well. Collierville cut it to 16 at halftime. Arlington out on a 16-0 run, sort of like how they started that second quarter.
Inside the paint. That time they're going to call the foul on Arlington, but it is going to be 2 shots here for Collierville. Last time to no avail, but this time she'll get to go to the line. It's going to be 2 shots for the Dragons here.
And Rogers has been really sneaky. Obviously coming in, you've got Shikuku and Burdett as the highlight players on this team, but Rogers has done what needs to be done to be a good point guard, right? Even though the points have not shown up on the scoreboard yet, she's still been doing what she needs to do and leading this team in sort of like a quiet way, just doing all the little things well.
Well, there's 4 players in this game for Collierville that I don't think have sat a minute. Rogers, Burdett, Sakuku, and Maxwell, I do not think I've seen bench minutes at all this game. They are tired and they are playing hard, but they haven't sat at all.
Shows the conditioning well for the Dragons, being pressed all game, being able to still play at this pace, sort of keeping up with the Tigers with the intensity. Not bad from Coach Patty Gardner.
Wells is taking the absolute most time she can to get the ball inside and still finds the perfect pass to Styx Nelson. She's going to get the N1, second and 2 trips for the Tigers here. Going back to the line and a beautiful pass from Brittany, just taking her time, making sure she got the best pass available.
Yeah, and as we said,
foul charge to the Dragons. Number 22, Carlin Burdett.
Doesn't want to take all the shots, but wants to make her teammates better. And that's exactly what Coach Shields is getting out of Brittany.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 12,
Couple subs
April
here.
James.
The recent and one scorer is going to take a seat on the bench, Styx Nelson, after coming in just a couple minutes ago. Collierville's taking it up. Burdett is going to be inside the lane. She's going to count it for 2, giving herself a couple more points to add to the scoring total. Quick crossover from Tierney Kelsey in the lane. Really good take. Just couldn't finish the bucket. Collierville out in transition. Burdett, another easy layup. She's going to cash it in. It is now back down to a 20-point game.
And with her height, she's going to be the benefit of a lot of those drives. Being able to pass the ball to her in the middle, wide open, that's a guaranteed bucket every time. Good pass.
Brittany Wells again taking her time, looking for that perfect pass that's going to set them up for points right off the bucket.
Go ahead.
Nobody is coming out to guard Wells. Thanks for letting me go, Jake. Nobody coming out to guard Wells. They're going to make them come out and guard them deep before they take a shot.
I'm used to the Minute Hoodies podcast where I can't interrupt, man. This is a lot different.
Go ahead.
Still with that press in the backcourt. Arlington doing everything they need to do, but Shikuku with the bucket.
Another Cuckoo crazy moment for Shikuku. Gets into the paint again, and a timeout is going to be called. And with this timeout, it's the perfect opportunity to give you a billboard on who our game is sponsored by. And tonight's game is brought to you by AHS Tiger Life, the official media publication of Arlington High School. Head to ahstigerlife.com right now. Well, maybe not right now because you're listening to us and watching this amazing game. But once this game is over, to see various student-produced projects such as videos, podcasts, news articles, and of course, live streams, just like the one you're watching right now because you didn't go to the website right this second. For all this and more, head to ahstigerlife.com after the game. That is ahstigerlife.com.
And you see Coach Shields, how active she is in the huddle. I think that's a sign of every good coach. She's picking on her best players for not being the best, right? I love that. When coaches can pick on their best players to do things better, you know that she expects excellence and excellence only.
And when you expect excellence, anything less than that is considered failure. And if anything less than excellence is considered failure, being up 20 points is pretty good, and that's what you want against every team. Brittany Wells, a very good cross. Almost another and one. Looks like it's going to be 2 shots again for the Tigers.
And I feel bad for Hillary Shikuku having to guard Brittany Wells this entire game. Brittany Wells is such a good passer. She's such a good shooter. She's mixed it up tonight and done both. And that just makes it so difficult for the defender because you don't know what's coming at you. Wells winning that matchup.
Anything coming into this game is going to be the clash of 2 pretty at-will scores here, but Brittany Wells has taken advantage of this and has just ran away with it. Shikuku has not been able to keep up with Wells tonight. Both free throws good there for Wells. Back up to 20 points for, I think, the 4th time tonight. Shikuku, perfect pass out to Burdett for 3. That is good. She's got the stroke going. That's her 2nd 3 of the night, cutting it back down to 17.
You like that from your big man down low. That's what all the NBA guys do this year in the NBA. They can shoot and they can drive, especially when you're tired. Love to see that from Burdett, as she is the senior leader on this team. Good to see the Lady Dragons have that solid piece down low.
It is 43-26 as Arlington is finally getting pressure brought up to them behind the three-point line, but that does not matter. Tierney Kelsey right into the paint again, and she is making her presence felt ever since you said that she hadn't done anything yet. So that,
there you go.
That may be the special sauce. This Maxwell is going to line up for 3. That's good. Her first 3 of the night. 2nd 3 in a row for Collierville, making it 45-29.
And we talked about Kelsey, and I saw Coach Shields talking to her on one of those layups. She missed it a little bit off the right side of the glass, coming from the left side. What Coach Shields was telling her, use that glass every time. The way she drives the paint, you've got to use that every single time.
And a turnover for Arlington. Momentum could be shifting here if Collierville can get some buckets. They're going to not signal who the ball is going. There it is. It's going to be Collierville. Burdett's going to pass it in. Only down 16 now, so they could get back in this game if they keep hitting 3s. 2 in a row here.
Looked like Lillian Jennings grabbed Jasmine Ross on that play to prohibit her from getting the ball that went off her foot. The refs letting a lot go, but they could come back in this game, though.
Burdett looked like she wanted the shot there at first. Passed it up because of the good defense from Miller. But here's Brittany Wells, too easy. A little jelly, a nice little kiss from a rose, if you remember that from football live streams. Beautiful off the back for Brittany Wells. Ooh. Good move from Shikuku. Just couldn't get the finish. Brittany Wells going to go back up the court. A little too much spin on it. It's going to go out of bounds. That pass was intended for number 14, Miller.
And when you're winning that big, it's easy to make those kind of plays when you're on a big run. Trying to get out in transition, throw the bounce passes, throw the flashy passes like Tierney Kelsey just done. Just a little ill-advised there from Brittany Wells, but that was her first big mistake of the game.
Yeah, and the score right now is 47-29. Your Tigers are up.
Arlington High School. As one of the premier high schools in the state of Tennessee, Arlington High School is proud to be a place for everyone. Whether it be an academic focus with more than 60 honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses, an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, becoming a playmaker in a top competitive sports program, or excelling in the second to none PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Learn more about Arlington High School at www.acsk-12.org.
Welcome back to third quarter action of this matchup between the Arlington Tigers and the Collierville Dragons. Arlington is still controlling this game, up 47-29. Collierville made a little bit of a run, but Arlington is starting to pull back away again.
Collierville doing the little things right, it seems like, this quarter. That halftime report really helped them be able to communicate the right way and get the easy shots in. But when you're down 16 points at halftime, it's so hard to overcome that lead. But the Collierville Lady Dragons are only down 2 in this half in scoring. So if you can take anything good from this game, assuming Arlington Tigers take it away, I think that's definitely something you can say.
Maxwell has the ball. She kicks it out to the wing. It is then going to be Jennings inside for the layup. That is good. And Jennings going to get back into the scoring column for the first time since she's came back on the floor.
Again, Arlington trying to slow down the pace. Collierville's going on a mini run of their own. Arlington's got to keep the ball in their hands in order to prohibit them from staying hot.
Wells again taking her time with no pressure really coming from Sakuku. She can kind of just play this game how she wants to. Now the pressure is being added. So Tierney Kelsey's going to pull up for 3. That's no good. Foul called on the shooter. 3 shots for Kelsey coming up.
Yeah, just invaded that landing space. We're seeing that rule enforced a lot more in the college game, but also the NBA game. You have to give shooters the room to land. That could lead to potential injury. Good call there by the ref.
Tierney Kelsey knocks down the first of 3 free throw opportunities.
And Kelsey last year sort of held that role player, going to shoot the ball from 3 really well, but this year averaging 13 points per game, she's shown that she's going to get it done from anywhere on the floor.
And they're only going to give her 2 free throws on that. I was sure it was a 3, but, you know, we're all wrong at some point. So I'll take the mistake there as Collierville is going very, very quickly down the floor. Another foul is drawn. That one is on Brittany Wells, I believe. Yep, it is going to be on Brittany Wells. Just a reach-in foul, though, so.
It is her 3rd. Brittany Wells getting in foul trouble.
Go ahead. Looks like Jasmine Ross is going to come in and sub for Brittany Wells with 3 fouls. She's going to have to take a seat, but don't think that's the end of her night.
Yeah, it makes sense. If the Lady Dragons were ever able to get back in this game, Brittany Wells is the one who can end that run. If you can get her a rest for the end of this quarter, then you'll have a Brittany Wells that's ready, not tired, not fatigued, should be ready to go next quarter.
And Sydney Hurt was called for a foul before the ball had even been passed inbounds, and that is going to be Sakuku, who is no good from 3. Tierney Kelsey will now take care of all the ball handling duties, assuming with Brittany Wells out of the game.
And Sydney Hurt with that tendonitis band on her knee. That could be why she's had limited playing action. It seems like every time she comes in the game, right on cue, she leaves the game. We'll see if that injury prohibits her from playing a little bit this season, but right now she's having a limited role.
Kelsey taking her time here. With no pressure means no basketball, really. You don't really have to do much when nobody's applying pressure, but she's going to go straight into the paint. Beautiful finger roll, just rolled around the toilet bowl one too many times and fell off the edge. Good pass inside for Burdette.
And with no size here for the Tigers in the game besides Styx Nelson, they're going to control the paint. That's why they continue to drive the ball. If they would make more than half of their layups, they'd be right in this game. But again, the fatigue that Arlington is setting in because of that press is prohibiting them from doing really anything they want to when they're not tired.
And Tierney Kelsey getting mad at herself after the last play. I don't think she's realizing how good of a game she is having. She needs to let that go and just realize they're up 18 points and she is having a wonderful game. Collierville looking for the last shot. Sakuku's going to get open for 3 to end the quarter. It is going to be 49-34. Arlington still ahead, but a little.
I think it's just vapor and flavors. It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Coverage of Arlington High School basketball is brought to you in part by Sunrise Builder Supply. When you're a home builder, contractor, or DIY homeowner, they have quality supplies you need. Arlington Community Schools, think, create, achieve. And by AHS Tiger Life, the student-produced media program at Arlington High School. It's the start of the fourth quarter here at Arlington High School. It is Arlington 49, Collierville 34. Collierville trying to keep themselves in it. They're within striking distance, but they're going to need a lot more if they want to win this game.
And Arlington's still playing impressive. As we talked about, 4 seniors that have key roles last year are now playing college ball. Arlington's still out to take that good lead as they have at 15 right now. Really impressive here for the Tigers.
And like we said, Brittany would be back in the game. She is back to start the fourth quarter with 3 fouls, so it will be something to keep an eye on if this game remains competitive. Taking her time, working inside of the paint. That's going to be Jasmine Ross up, and she's going to get the foul called. She's going to go to the line for 2 more free throws. Really good at drawing fouls tonight for the Tigers.
And you mentioned Brittany Wells' frustration right now. Yes, they may be up 15, and yes, she may be having one of the best games of this season, but the sign of good leadership is you want the team basketball to win, right? They've been up 15 for virtually 80% of this game. Right, Brittany wants more than that. Even with the press, they're still not able to break that threshold of about 18 to 20 points. That's why you're seeing the frustration there for Wells, and I think that shows a good sign. That's what a good sign is for a true point guard.
And you can see Coach Ashley Shields talking to Wells and Kelsey on the sideline during those 2 free throws, trying to give them some motivation, tell them what they can do better going into this fourth quarter. It's going to be Collierville ball. Looks like he was hit last by Kenise Wilkins. She hasn't been in the game since, I believe, the first half, but she's given some good minutes this game so far. Close to a backcourt violation, but they clear it out. Maxwell will have it, looking to give it to someone. It's going to go to Sakuku. Trying to work on Brittany. It hasn't worked all night, but she's going to get the kick out to Ann Jennings. No good. The ball is going to be cleared out by Kelsey as they run for the fast break here. Goes up with one hand. She missed it last time, but she will not get missed. She will not get forced to miss 2 times in a row. That one drops on a pretty layup.
So impressive about the ambidextrous abilities of these Arlington guards. Brittany Wells and Tierney Kelsey multiple times have drove down the lane and switched hands right at the bucket. That's how hard it is for these Collierville bigs to guard these Arlington guards. They're just able to be so flexible with what hands they go up with.
And if you told me at the beginning of the game that from the tip to the fourth quarter, Arlington would be pressing the entire game, I would not have believed you. But here we are, and here is Sakuku pulling up for 3 and knocking it down, keeping this game competitive even late into the fourth quarter. Air ball there from Wilkins. As it is Sakuku pushing it up, trying to get the lead down to the lowest it's been since the first quarter. Not a good attempt there for a layup. And it is going to be Styx Nelson in for the layup. That is also no good. Clear it out to Rogers.
And again, Rogers, you're seeing that down low. Maybe the shortest person on this floor besides Kenise, but still able to come up with that board again, doing the little things the right way, sort of like a Chris Paul kind of. You've got the points and you can score, but also you do the little things well and lead your team. And even in the 16-point deficit right now, she's been impressive, and I think moving forward for Collierville in district play, she's got to be the one to step up.
Yeah, and Tierney Kelsey's going to get called for the foul there, as there's going to be another foul called on the Tigers. Burdette is going to go to the line again.
And this game has kind of stayed between the points of 14 to 20. If Collierville wants to come back at some point, they're going to have to break that mold, get within 10. That'll make Arlington start to kind of struggle right there. Sort of play with a little bit of desperation. That's the only chance Collierville has of coming back in this game. They just got to keep hitting.
And Burdette has the perfect opportunity to kind of break that mold here with the 2 free throws. She can kind of take her time here, make sure she gets the right shot she wants. Perfect form. That's what free throws are for. Practicing that shot. She's going to make both of them and get it down, like we said, to the lowest it's been since the first quarter. It's a 14-point game. Wilkins, another three. That's no good. Ill-advised shots here. When you're up by 14 late in the game, Collierville hasn't been playing too hard of defense up top.
They're letting them shoot that three ball, and for good reason. They've been able to come back because of those three-point shots. Arlington abandoning the slow pace that they had early in the game that allowed them to keep that lead that they had built so early.
Maxwell has the ball, looking for a shot. She kicks it over. Looking for a lot right here, but they find Burdett. A push. It's going to stay with Collierville. No shots yet, I don't think.
Yeah, and a desperation foul there for her. If she lets Burdett go to the left of her on that baseline, every basketball player knows you cannot let her go baseline. Limiting that potential easy layup there for Burdett, who has had a solid game in this fourth quarter. Not a bad foul by Hurt, but you get yourself one foul closer to the bonus with it.
A quick 20-second rest for Sakuku, but she is back in the game, trying to lead the Collierville Dragons back in, and it is now a 12-point game with the and one on the horizon. Collierville is just not going away.
And now you're in the bonus. Two bad things there for the Arlington Tigers. Their fast pace is really good at the beginning of games. It's a good way to set the tempo. But once you get that lead, you cannot put up, as we've said, ill-advised shots on the offensive end, because Collierville can score points, and they can score points in bunches, as we've seen in the second half.
Yeah, up more than 20 at the end of the first quarter. Collierville has slowly tried to work their way back, and it looks like the magic might starting to be rubbed off here on these Collierville Dragons. It is now down to 11 points. The foul is going to be called on Sakuku. Brittany Wells picks it up. She's going to go to the line for two more, trying to build back this lead that has kind of been demolished.
And Patty Gardner, coach for the Lady Dragons, I really like her approach. She's kind of like that Penny Hardaway approach. She's going to go hard at you in practice. When it comes to the court, she's going to be pretty silent. She's not really going to say much because they've prepared you for these moments, and you're seeing that. You're seeing the versatility of this team, able to come back from down more than 20 points. Gardner just sitting over there proud of her team for their effort in coming back.
And it looks like Arlington's going to pull back the press here. Timeout is going to be called. So no press actually needed in this moment. It is 55-42 right now. It is 55-42. Arlington. Welcome back to the latter half of the fourth quarter here between the Arlington Tigers and not Cordova. It is Collierville. Got a little, I don't know what messed me up there. I saw some green. Our team is wearing media shirts, so I saw the green and thought Cordova. I don't know why, but it's the Collierville Dragons that are making this comeback. Sakuku has the ball, kicks it out. Maxwell's going to take a three. No good. Rolls around the rim and out.
And Arlington needs Brittany Wells to step up here. These are the moments where she needs to shine. She's easily the best player on the floor. Let's see what she can do here.
And she's trying to work it inside on Sakuku. Kicks it out to Miller. Everybody's getting their hands on the ball here this possession for the Tigers. Kelsey's taking it up right now. She's looking inside, looks to take it herself. Mean step back for a mean mid-range jumper. The second one that has kind of been stood out here tonight. She had one in the first half that was really dirty too, and here's the second one she's had tonight.
And she's also really hard to guard. She's shown that she can be ambidextrous in the paint, but she can also pull up for that step-back jumper. A lot of versatility in her game that just helps the Tigers in every facet.
And it's Rogers that is not able to hang on to the ball there or keep her foot on the right side of the half court. It is going to go back to Arlington, and that was a key possession there for the Dragons.
And the time is now for the Tigers or for the Dragons if you want to come back. Down 15 here again. They're stuck in that hole from 14 to 20. Let's see if Sakuku can work some more magic and get the Dragons back in this game, but you got to get the ball out of Wells' hands.
A rare miss dribble for Wells, but she makes up for it by flipping up another one-handed layup. Too easy for Wells here late in the game. Oh my goodness. Looks like she might have just slipped on the water. It wasn't really a cross slip. Maybe I'm wrong, but a not very good three, if that's the easiest way to put it there for Collierville trying to get back into this game. It's going to go back to Arlington, and the game is swinging back again.
And again, this is a long game. You don't have to take those three-point shots. I know this is a little bit of an inexperienced group for the Collierville Lady Dragons, but you've got to know this is a long game and you've got plenty of time.
And 65 points scored per game for the Arlington Tigers, and it's 51 for the Collierville Dragons. So we are right around their ballparks for scoring. And we said that if Collierville wanted to win this game, something was going to have to blend here. And I have to stop talking about that because Brittany Wells just stole the ball off the ground. If you're an offensive player dribbling the ball, it's kind of easy to get around a defender when they're laying on the ground. But the fact that Brittany Wells was just able to steal that while laying on her back is just impressive.
Arlington doing everything right now. They allowed the Lady Dragons to have a little bit of life there coming into this fourth quarter, but Collierville missing some shots helped the Arlington Tigers a little bit. Once they got back in the scoring column, they've run away with it up 19.
The Tigers only allow 43.8 points per game. Collierville only allows 47.5, so in their eyes, they're getting it put on right now. Another personal foul is going to be called. This time it's going to be on Megan Lindsay.
And if you look at who Collierville has played in the district so far, you've got Overton there, not the best competition in district play. You've also got Germantown. Germantown's pretty solid, and then Cordova. You've got a lot of district teams, but at the same time, again, this district talent is so top-heavy with the first couple teams. I would not be disappointed if I'm the Lady Dragons. Arlington, the former district champions, and they replace talent really well.
Tierney Kelsey's just so good with the ball in her hand. She knows how to make a defender to move off the dribble, move off where she goes, and players have been slipping all over the court here lately. Seems like there might be a little bit of sweat building up on the floor. That is the third time in the last 3 possessions that an Arlington player has slipped going for the ball.
And good fundamentals there on that drive for Rogers. Just went a little too deep down in the paint to limit the and one opportunity. When she went up, she was a little bit under the rim, but either way, a good fundamental play to jump stop there rather than go with the two-step layup.
And after winning by 34 against Germantown, this one has to be a little hard for Collierville to swallow down almost 20 again. So it makes it a little rough probably for them, but being able to stay in it and be resilient is really important when you're playing from down like this, especially away.
And the fouls have helped here for the Tigers. Not as many fouls this half, which is why they haven't been at the line as much. Collierville having to earn their buckets. And when you've got to earn the buckets against this Arlington team, they just score way too fast. Brittany Wells with a good take there, able to get inside the paint yet again. It is so hard to guard her because she has the three-point shot. You don't know if she's going to throw a flick pass across the court. She's been able to do every single thing that you want her to out of a true point guard. And I'm honestly surprised she has not committed yet. But if she has not committed yet, that just shows me that she's waiting for those better offers, and those offers better come the way she's playing right now.
Brittany Wells is back at the line, makes good on the first one. We'll see if she can get the second to push it back to a 20-point game again. Cashes in both, and it is back up to 20 for the Tigers here with just over 2 minutes to go. It's going to be Burdette for 3, but that's no good. Sakuku with the offensive rebound, picks up the dribble. Another turnover. Brittany Wells trying to put this one to bed here if it wasn't already. Another one-handed layup, this time with the left. Brittany Wells cashes in again.
And Collierville looking like they're going to lose this game. virtually impossible for them to come back. Again, I would not be so sad about the loss. You showed a lot of grit here, able to come back and make it somewhat of a game. Arlington just got out too fast on their breaks. Putting up that big lead early just makes it so hard to come back.
And Tierney Kelsey puts them ahead of their average points per game. They're now 67 on the night.
67 just above their average. And if you look at Arlington, they're currently 26th in the state. This win over a really good Collierville team on paper should push them up into the top 25. And if you're circling a game, I think you've got to circle that Arlington-Bartlett matchup that's coming in just a couple of weeks. Bartlett returning Mallory Collier, recent NC State commit. And I think that matchup, obviously it's going to be heated because it's an Arlington-Bartlett rivalry. But you've got some good talent on both sides with Wells and Collier. The road is long for the Tigers, but good win here today to give them some good momentum.
And they get the chance to take on Germantown next Tuesday, the same game that Collierville won by 30. So it has to be a little bit of a motivation to know that a team that you are currently beating by 23 just beat another district foe by 30 plus.
And you've got Bartlett next week on Friday the 13th, and then Bartlett at Arlington Stadium on February 3rd. 2 matchups in less than a month.
That 3 is going to be no good from Megan Lindsay. Arlington still pressing, just maybe a questionable foul there to end the game. Probably should have backed off on the press there. No need to do that. There's a minute left in the game, up 22. That's going to send Sakuku back to the line with a chance to make it a little more respectable, but nonetheless, it's probably going to be a 20-point win for the Tigers.
And Sakuku can hang her head high from this game. She has been one of the sole reasons that Collierville has still been in this game and made it a game. If you're her and if you're Collierville, if you're Patty Gardner, I would give her a big pat on the back after this one. Able to keep the Lady Dragons in somewhat of a respectable margin.
No good for Sakuku, but the ball is loose, and Sakuku finds a way to keep her dribble on the ground, but eventually it does fall out of bounds. It should go back to the Tigers, but they're going to call a foul instead on Brittany Wells.
And if we're doing NBA comparisons tonight, we can compare that play to the one Luca had and the one Donovan Mitchell had in both of their really good games. At the end of the game, they shot a free throw, it was off. They got their own rebound and put it up for a layup. Just a little bit of a good comparison there for the girl that's had a really good game. She deserves it.
Now, the games weren't really as close as the ones are the other night because they were shooting for the win there potentially.
Correct.
Not for the win here tonight, but always good to get that NBA comparison in.
There you go.
Second one, no good again. They call a lane violation on the Tigers, just delaying the inevitable here.
Refs get paid by game. I don't know why they're calling fouls or anything like this in the last minute, but respect to them. They've got solid integrity.
That one goes in. The second chance on the second shot. She doesn't miss that opportunity. It's going to be Miller up for the layup. That is good. Could have held the ball out just for the win there, but decided to add some extra points. Still the press for the Tigers here. Sakuku's going to get an easy lane to the paint. Tries to pass it out, and that's going to be another turnover. That pass was supposed to go to Burdette, but it's going to be one of the many turnovers here tonight.
And Rogers just trying to do a little bit too much. She looks like if she would have rose up and taken that layup, it could have gone in with a little floater. But tried to pass it, tried to do a little bit too much on that play, and it hurt her. It's been a long game, a long night.
Picking up the press at this point in the game for Collierville doesn't really make much sense. They waited until there was 30 seconds left to apply any pressure.
And it's so hard to decide what to do against this Arlington team. Do you match their pace or do you try to defend against it? It's so hard to try to do. If you're a team that can't play with Arlington in their pace, it's going to be hard to do because their 2-3 defense, their man-to-man defense is so hard to break.
Arlington looking to pass in the ball here and end this game. Up a respectable 22 points here on Collierville. Could look to hold it out, but Miller's going to drive in for the layup. It is good. A little up and under there. They're going to get up to 71 here for the night.
Let's hope that her and Coach Tommy stick around for the next 3 years. Freshman playing on varsity, averaging 4th most on the team. You got to keep this girl around. That's exactly what Lindsey Long did around her freshman year being on varsity. And she's over there playing college basketball. Bright future here for the freshman and Taylor Miller.
I will appreciate the we won't hold the ball out to end the game. A little 2K-esque. You never hold the ball out to end the game in a 2K game, so it's only right you do it here as well. And that is going to wrap it up here for the Arlington Tigers. They are going to win 71-47. A kind of one-handed affair here the whole night against Collierville. Tried to bring it back a little towards the end, but Arlington just had control from beginning to end.
Yeah, good game here for Arlington. A lot of impressive assets, all the way from the dynamic senior to the really good freshman. Love to see Arlington getting out to really good district record at 3-0 right now. Really just circling that Bartlett game.
Yeah, in between Brittany Wells, Tierney Kelsey, Taylor Miller, I mean, the list could go on. Kenise Wilkins hit a couple of threes. Jasmine Ross played amazing. There's a lot of depth on this Arlington team that can really help you if somebody has a bad night down the stretch. A lot of good guard play as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you've got to hang your hat to Collierville trying to stay in the game. They were gassed for most of that game because of Arlington's full court press. Love to see Patty Gardner and her group stay in it, stay ready, stay locked in. And when you've got a veteran coach like Gardner who is in her first year, to see them hang in like that, I think that's really respectable.
And I don't think this is anything that you need to think about too much. I think this is something that you need to move on for them if you're Collierville. They are still 8-8 and 3-1 in district play. That is nothing to be upset about. As long as they can get the wins they need to get in, they'll be in a good spot when it comes to the district tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And some playmakers that were not as key contributors last year. You've got Styx Nelson. She was really behind all the big men down low last year. She's playing a good role. Jasmine Ross taking a step up as well. And then, as you talked about, Kenise Wilkins. She's been solid. She's able to come in as that solid, consistent shooter. Love to see all these girls that have stepped up in the absence of so many players, key contributors that left last year. Arlington Tigers can replace talent well, and you've got to when you've got a former WNBA champion coach.
Speaking of WNBA champion coach, she won the game handily. She won the game handily, and right now we have her with Carly Bertling. So, Carly, what do you have for us?
Shields, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
It's good. So, overall tonight, y'all played amazing on offense. Do you think that there's going to be anything that you change, or do you think you're going to keep it the same?
I just kind of, just go by each game plan and just try to adjust within the games. Each game is different. Each team is different. And we just kind of, prepare for each game, just one game at a time.
So what are your thoughts overall on tonight's game?
I feel like we played great as a team collectively on both ends of the floor. Of course, it's a game of runs, and it's kind of up and down. We had our moments where we kind of fell asleep a little bit, but we woke back up, and we had to put the pedal to the metal. But overall, we played great.
All right. Well, congratulations on your win tonight. Thank you.
So much. Thank you.
All right, and that is going to wrap up the girls' game here for the night. Stick around for the boys' game coming up in a couple minutes. Otherwise, we will see you in a few. Welcome back to the second half of our doubleheader here tonight. We are here for the Arlington against Collierville boys basketball game. Jake, how do you feel about the second game?
Man, I'm ready. I cannot wait. Collierville comes in a lot better on paper than Arlington, but Arlington, every time they play at home, they decide to step up. They decide to make it interesting. And obviously, it's the first boys game of the year. I'm ready, man. I got to dap you up yet again. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, and someone to notice right off the bat for Collierville is Jack Cottrell, the biggest player on the court here tonight, standing at 6'8", is way taller than anybody Arlington has to offer. So it is going to be a big matchup to see if Arlington can contain him.
Yeah, it's going to be hard with all the guys that have left this Arlington team. 8 or 9 guys that were solid contributors last year on varsity, played good minutes, are all gone. 4 of them transferred, 5 of them just decided to leave the team. So when you look at it, there are a lot of guys that have stepped away, and it's going to be really tough for Arlington to guard those big guys. Lou McBride is going to have a lot of pressure on him as he's the only one who's going to match up.
Yeah, and Arlington played really, really good in summer ball when they had a lot of those players left. But due to personal reasons or transferring or different things like that, they just decided that it was time to step away, and we're going to see what they look like here tonight. Only 3-13 to start the season, so it would be a perfect time to get a win on the live stream here tonight.
Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for Arlington to step it up, and we'll see if they can do that today.
Yeah, and we're going to send it right to break, and then we'll wrap it up and go right back.
Do you have a business or organization you want to promote? Advertise here, reach thousands of potential customers throughout the year, and show your community support for the Tigers. Every dollar you spend advertising will support academic and extracurricular programs across all schools in ACS. Contact Tyler Hill for more information.
Sorry about that. No, I've been staying at my dad's place because of everything.
Where are we going?
Navigating these times can be tough, but while you care for your loved one, you also need to care for yourself. Go to aarp.org/caregiving for free mental health and self-help tips.
And I need to apologize to my boy Evan Norman over there. I didn't give him the proper send-off when we were here last time, so I'm going to give it to him now. We're going to go over to Evan Norman for his sideline report. What do you got, Evan?
With Collierville being third in the district, I think it's going to take a lot for the Arlington Tigers to come out with a W in this game. It's all going to have to happen at the same time, too. I think Luke McBride is going to have to come out with a lot of rebounds, get the ball moving, whether it's on offense or defense. I think he's going to, by getting the rebounds, he's going to be able to get the shots up as well. VJ Simmons is also going to need to command the court with passing the ball, with shooting the ball, with driving in, getting in the paint, and ultimately getting points as well. I think Cruz Butler is going to have to have a good night to make a big statement in this game. If we want to win, I think it's going to take him and his shot. I know he has the ability to control this game and ultimately lead the Tigers to victory.
Junior guard number 0, VJ Simmons. 5'10", junior guard number 3, Lucas Hustetler.
Thank you, Evan, for that report. We're looking forward to see if the Tigers can get done just what you said. It is going to take a lot of Cruz Butler, a lot of big defense from Luke McBride to keep them in this game, and only time will tell how this will go. Arlington's going to have a lot of good things go their way if they want to get the win here tonight, and that's going to have to start with taking down the 6'8" giant here tonight.
Yeah, and again, Arlington has lost a lot of key pieces. We're going to get to see tonight what they really have with this new look team for the first live stream of the year for the guys. Leaders on this team, VJ Simmons, the leading scorer at just over 8 points a game. Luke McBride, the leading rebounder. And as Evan said perfectly, he's going to have a big night as Jack Cantrell comes in. He's a tall guy. Good thing he's not starting.
Basketball fans.
We're going to give a quick update on our starting lineups here for Arlington. VJ Simmons, Alex Wiley, Cruz Butler, Luke McBride, and Lucas Hufstetler are going to be the 5 guys out there for your Arlington Tigers, trying to lead them to victory here tonight. It is going to be Luke McBride against Alex Vandelenberg, I believe, if I pronounce his last name correctly, for the tip. 2 big guys here for the tip-off. And it is going to be Collierville control possession here. TJ McNeil is going to take it up.
TJ McNeil comes in as one of the best players for this Collierville team. Look to see what he can do today.
It's going to be TJ versus VJ to start the game out, defense and offense. No good for his first shot, though. Collierville does get the offensive rebound. You can just see right away how much size that they have on the Tigers. Even if it doesn't look like there's a height advantage, there's a little bit of a muscle advantage you can see there. So we'll see if that plays a difference. Arlington with a good defense there, getting a steal early, not allowing points to go on the board on the first possession as VJ is going to take it up.
And Arlington is going to have to take their time, taking the best shot possible. Every shot matters against this Collierville team. They can score, and they can score in a hurry.
VJ has the ball. He's getting guarded heavily outside the three-point line. Not much movement going on for the Tigers, but VJ finds his way in the lane, and that's going to be no good. Questionable shot there as the ball's going to be worked up. Another turnover, though, for the Collierville Dragons. Luke McBride gets an easy floater there, and he's going to knock it in. First lead of the game for the Tigers, and it's a good way to start off the new year in a new live stream.
And that's what Luke McBride loves to do on that offense. He likes to hit that shot, little floater shot in the middle of the lane. If he can get it going anywhere between 0 and 6 feet, he's got a good game tonight coming.
Yeah, and that was good defense there from VJ. They're playing really aggressive here in the first minute and a half. We'll see if that holds the whole game or if they get tired, but so far it's looked pretty good.
And that's what Arlington is going to give you every single time when they play at home. They're ready and they're hyped. They're going to play as hard as they can. Good to see the Tigers come out with a lot of intensity.
It's going to be VJ picking up the foul there on the way to the basket. It looks like it's going to be on the floor, though. Vandenberg is going to draw the foul. My bad.
And VJ is going to have a good game. CJ McNeil coming in, averaging 13.5, the leading scorer. It's going to be important to not put him in foul trouble. Coach Brewer going to have to really articulate what he needs to do today.
There's going to be TJ McNeil again with the ball. Kicks it out to Webb Thomas for three. That's way off as VJ Simmons clears the rebound. That's going to be off the Collierville Dragons. Cruz Butler just could not hold on to it there.
Collierville Dragons also coming in with a little bit to prove. 12-6 right now, 2-1 in the district. Preseason, they looked like they would be one of the contenders. For them, this can't be a game that they can afford to make it a game. They're going to have to run away with it. But Arlington, the way they're playing right now, doesn't look like they're going to let that fly.
A good accidental screen there from Luke McBride, but the defense gets around it, and Lucas Huffstetler is going to get set up for a three, and that's good. Gives a little celebration there as they're starting out a little hot. It's going to be 5-0.
Good to have Huffstetler. It looked like he was going to take that leave of absence as well and go play for MHCA. Good to have him in Arlington as a Tiger because he can get hot.
Vandenberg inside with the strong take. He's going to get the and one opportunity here. Just a really good take to the basket. And you can see him. He looks strong. If he can get inside and draw the foul, there's a pretty good chance that he's going to finish every time.
Yeah, he averages a solid 7, 6.5, and 3.5. Getting it done in all three phases of the game. Able to pass, rebound, and score the ball well. McBride's going to have a tough time, but they match up pretty well in the height category.
Makes good on his free throw. So far, it looks like the big man can hit free throws as well. So that's something that you're not going to want to get into. And right away, the tall 6'8" man is going to sub into the game.
6'8" Jack Cantrell now going to be the matchup for Luke McBride down low.
Well, he is wearing number 14, and 14 would be Elijah Lussier, unless they had a little jersey switch.
Looks like they have two 6'8" guys. Lussier, the one in the game now.
Good take there. It's going to be Cruz Butler with the bucket. Takes it in on Lussier. One of the two 6'8" guys that this Collierville team has. Size could be a huge problem for the Tigers. Another foul, another and one. A big man's going to get in and get the opportunity for 3 points again. Webb Thomas with a nice pass inside. Lussier is going to get the opportunity for a 3-point play.
And when you have two guys that outmatch the Tigers in the height category, you're going to have a tough time in the paint. Arlington is going to have to score and score in a hurry. Because the Tigers are looking like right now, it's not going to be able to stop consistently these two dynamic forwards for the Dragons.
Another free throw good by the big man, and Collierville is going to apply that pressure that the Lady Tigers applied last game. VJ Simmons gets it to McBride, back to VJ and up to Cruz. They clear the press. Cruz looking to get something going here quick. Can't find it, so VJ gets the clear out.
And the Tigers breaking the press really well right now, not having as many turnovers.
VJ got what looked to be a very nice shot, just couldn't get it to drop. He'll look for more opportunities like that throughout the game, as Thomas is going to kick out to number 1 Tyson. Tyson gets it to roll around the rim and in.
Isaiah Tyson, not even a top 6 scorer in points per game this year for the Dragons. Collierville relying on those bench guys right now.
Nice pump fake for Cruz. Butler draws the foul. Couldn't finish the three-point play. That could be important considering the size of the big man that Collierville has getting into the paint. But nonetheless, he is going to get 2 shots here.
Yeah, as you said, even though Collierville has a lot of big guys down low, Arlington's still trying to attack the paint, trying to get them in foul trouble. Really important there for Arlington. If they're going to try to make it more even with size, that's got to be something they're doing. And Coach Brewer coming in with a great game plan.
It is 3 fouls to 1 here for the Tigers. As they already have 3, 4 minutes into the game, we'll see if they can kind of slow that total down as it is a long half of play. A chance to retake the lead here for Butler and the Tigers. No good. It's going to go out of bounds for the Collierville Dragons. All knotted up at 8-8.
And Arlington playing their own full court man-to-man, trying to make Collierville speed up. Arlington, again, likes to play feisty defense and really quick offense. Even though Arlington's only tied with them right now, they're still making them play their pace of game. That's a success.
Vanderberg and Lucier taking up top. Turnover there from Huffstetler. Good steal. Simmons has the ball up court. Kicks it over to Butler, and a good pass from Simmons as Arlington takes the lead back.
True point guard there for Arlington. You've got B.J. Simmons, who's tenacious on the defensive end, but he's also got that flashy passes in his bag. He's the total package for the Tigers.
Another TJ versus VJ battle there, excuse me. It looks like VJ's going to get that one, even though TJ passed him up going to the paint. Lucier is going to get charged with the foul there, and that's maybe what the Tigers need to approach it as. Draw fouls on the big men and get them to sit down, because if you can make this a small ball game, Arlington may have what it takes to win it.
Arlington usually starts games early. If they can continue to limit the mistakes as they have one there, you're going to be able to stand a chance in this game. But those tiny mistakes you cannot afford to have. If you want to come back in this game, turnovers and fouls and just ill-advised shots are not going to get you there.
Just gave Butler the ball a little too low. It hit off his shin. Another turnover almost right there for Dallas Berkeley, who is subbed into the game.
Arlington playing this sort of zone look right now, but also kind of man-to-man. It's a little confusing right now, confusing for this offense. Seems like guys step up every time.
McNeil's trying to put something up together, but nothing really gets going, so he just throws up a shot, but Vanderberg is there to get another offensive rebound. Vanderberg, McNeil, Lucier, Dillard, and Berkeley highlight the 5 out there right now. A lot of tip-ins going on, and another offensive rebound for the Dragons. The ball is loose on the court. Collierville's going to get it back. McNeil with a good pump, but he's going to have to pull it back out. Arlington's defense is being resilient here now. And finally, the board is pulled down by the guard. A lot was going on there, but it looks like Arlington got it out. McBride up top, that is not his shot though, so they'll clear it back out and set up the offense.
And Collierville trying to force Arlington to play fast, but Arlington adjusting to it well.
Wiley pulls up from 3, doesn't fall the first time. Thought it could have fallen all the way back down, but it's going to be no good. As now Collierville will push the pace up to Lundenberg. They're going to say it belongs to Collierville.
Good defense there and bad fundamentals there for Vandenberg. When you've got the height and you've got the muscles, you cannot keep that ball below your waist. Alex Wiley easily able to strip that there, which could have gone off his knee. Missed call there for the ref.
McNeil gets an easy pass in to Lucier and just makes McBride look smaller than he is. McBride is 6'6", which if you look at it is not that big of a difference when they're standing together on the court. But even though Lucier looks a little scrawny out there, he's still making big plays in the paint. Lucas Huffstetler with a nice spin move to give Arlington the lead back. Arlington's hanging in there for the first quarter so far.
Yeah, a nice move there from Huffstetler. He's got a big body on him, even though he doesn't show it. He's feisty down low. He can do that really well. When you've got a guard that is willing to play physical down to the paint, that works every time.
McNeil and Berkeley were kind of working it up top a little bit, but always seemed to find the big men down low and almost got another layup to go. That one would have been a reverse, but it's going to be Vandenberg going back to the line.
And with how many fouls there are and how many stoppages in play there are, this game is going to be a long one. It's going to require so much physicality. We'll see what team can win it. Collierville having the height advantage, but Arlington playing so tenacious right now on the defensive end. It's very possible for them to win that physicality matchup.
Yeah, Arlington up 12-10 right now. As it looks to me as Grady Turner is going to sub into this game now for Alex Wiley, as well as number 11, Anthony Hester. He did play in the JV game earlier tonight, getting some minutes in the varsity game. We'll see how much energy he has getting subbed into the game early.
He's always plays like he's got something on his feet. He runs extremely fast. Should be a football player in my opinion. He's got that breakaway speed, kind of like one of Gabriel Torres. He's going to cause some chaos, but it always works out.
Looks like a sub is going to be called for the Dragons. Number 33, Alex Vandenberg, is going to take a seat. Number 5, Cooper McRae, another big man, coming into the game for Collierville. Lots of them. It's just like a team of giants over there.
And Arlington with a lot of new guys on this roster that are getting significant minutes. Even though they lost a lot of guys last year, they got some key contributors.
Cruz Butler works his way inside, couldn't get the bucket to go. Working without Luke McBride now, this lineup is extremely small, as any lineup without Luke McBride would be. We're gonna see if they can hang in there and force them to play outside. McNeil drives straight in, gives a little pass out to McRae, but they set back up with McNeil at top. Their offense has been a little wild so far, so we'll see if they can get something consistent going. It's not gonna be here though, because it's another turnover.
Arlington again, trying to create mismatches on the defensive end. So many bigger guys, it's so hard to dribble against the smaller guards, which is a benefit for sure.
Ant pulls up in the corner, but it's no good. Look at Grady get in the board, but just had no one to throw it to. It's gonna be a turnover. Looked like a little bit of a double dribble there. He picked up the ball and ran with it. Would be a travel, but he also bounced the ball on the ground again.
Both 11s here getting a little feisty. Dallas Berkeley and Anthony Hester. We'll see what happens here, but tensions are rising. This is a good game, a fast game. Both teams going at it.
They're both chuckling over there on the sideline with the ref. They do hit Berkeley with the foul, but it's all in good fun so far. Huffstetler gets the inbound on the hard press from Collierville. Double team here. Somebody's open. It's Grady down low, but they can't get it to him. The turnover first. McNeil's going. Good defense by VJ, but McNeil's going to score anyway.
And you've got to feed the ball down low if you're Arlington. If you got to break this press and throw it to the open man, like Brent said, those are the open guys. You just got to be able to see over the defense.
They call a double dribble, and it's going to go back to Collierville to end the first quarter, as they have a chance up 15-12 to pull away a little bit.
And the most important player on this roster is not actually a player. It happens to be a coach, former Memphis Tiger, Sean Taggart on the sidelines. He's the tallest man out here. He makes the 6'8" guys look short. Good coaching here on both sides.
McNeil trying to make something work here to end the quarter. They might hold it off for the last shot, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely good play here, pulling it out, limiting Arlington from getting another shot up.
McRae loses the ball. Huffstetler's got the hot hand. Oh, off the rim. Good shot there still. Good shot there from Huffstetler, but it's no good. The Tigers hanging around as Collierville up 15-12.
Arlington High School. As one of the premier high schools in the state of Tennessee, Arlington High School is proud to be a place for everyone. Whether it be an academic focus with more than 60 honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses, an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, becoming a playmaker in a top competitive sports program, or excelling in the second-to-none PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Learn more about Arlington High School at www.acsk-12.
Welcome back to the second quarter of action here at Arlington High School. Arlington making it a game so far. Collierville is up 15-12 to start the second quarter, but Arlington is going to get it.
Tyler McNeil getting his first action. What a guy here on the offensive end to be able to bring in after 8 minutes of the game. So flashy on the offensive end.
Yeah, Tyler McNeil's going to replace a good first quarter for VJ Simmons. Alex Wiley has come back into this game along with a lot of small players here as Lucas Huffstetler hits a three. That's his second of the game. Playing confident here in the first half.
He's got more than half of Arlington points right now. He's got 8 on the board. Really impressive there from Huffstetler, the junior, able to hit some shots from deep.
Arlington playing with a little bit of purpose right now, keeping themselves in this game. As McRae is going to get a good pass in to number 13. Oh my goodness, that looks like that is number 33. Sorry, I didn't see the 3 on the other end. That is Alex Vandenberg subbing back in. I should remember him. He's the big man down low. But there's so many of them, it's hard to tell. Arlington struggling to keep the ball.
Someone lost their shoe on the court.
Timeout on the floor. Timeout, Tigers.
Someone lost their shoe and the ball went out, so Arlington's going to be forced to call a timeout. It was Anthony Hester who ended up losing his shoe. All right, so now I want to take the time to talk to you about AHS Tiger Life. They are the student-produced, student-led media program here at Arlington High School. They are the sponsors of tonight's video. So yeah, they run everything around here. We enjoy the use that they come, mint and hoodies, all that good stuff that comes from AHS Tiger Life.
Yeah, for sure. Very thankful for all the things that they equip their students to do. If you're a student looking for a media program to join, they're second to none to Arlington High School and what they've got going on here. Allow students to take their talent and create brands and all that good stuff like we've been able to do here. Looking to do that for the future for some other students as well.
And getting back to the action here, a deep pass in for Tyler McNeil as he's going to take the ball up on Isaiah Tyson. Straight to the paint, no foul call, but he's going to get the bucket anyway. Really tough take to tie the game back up at 17.
And what a good take right there. Tyler McNeil with fantastic fundamentals. If you're smaller than the defender, jump into them, get him off your body, and throw the ball up in the net. That's such a good take there for McNeil. Again, bringing him off the bench is so special for Arlington to be able to do.
Isaiah Tyson's going to kick it over to Webb Thomas, but that's no good. Offensive rebound again. Driving into the paint. Alex Wiley's going to get the board, but the foul is going to be called. Dallas Berkeley's going to go to the line.
And you're looking at these matchups here on both sides. Arlington completely outsized right now. So many big guys that you can continue to sub in for Collierville. That's such a luxury to have, especially against this Arlington team who prides themselves on fast pace. Don't necessarily have the biggest guys in the world, but they're going to make you run with it. Such a good luxury for the Collierville Dragons.
We're going to have to see when Luke McBride comes back into this game being the tallest player on Arlington's roster as they just continue to sub in and out the giants that Collierville has assembled here. Number 14, Elijah Lussier, is going to come back into the game here.
And when you look at this, you're like, how is TJ McNeil, the starting point guard, the leading scorer for them, when all they do is run through their big men, but so many teams are just unable to guard them. It leaves so many open shots and lanes for them to drive in. Super impressive here from Collierville, and obviously great coaching from Taggart to be able to get those big guys involved and have your star guard be the leading scorer. Foul there, number 15, Webb Thomas, the sophomore shooter. Impressive for him to be so involved in this game, barely missing a minute right now. Super impressive that Webb Thomas is such a key contributor just as a sophomore.
And we're going to get 2 subs back into the game. Not the big men yet, but it is going to be Cruz Butler and TJ McNeil back in. Alex Wiley's going to stay in the game. Cruz Butler working with the ball now. It's going to be VJ Simmons up for 3. That's no good. Long rebound for Ant there. Going to kick it back out. VJ, no good. Ball's going to go back to Collierville after an offensive foul by Cruz Butler. That's 7 on the Tigers.
Cruz Butler saw an open pane and decided to drive it, but forgot he had a 6'8" guy in his face. I mean, when you think the lane is clear, you just got to think again. So many guys in this Collierville team, and the way they rotate so well just makes it so hard to drive in the paint because their defense is so active.
Isaiah Tyson is going to take up the ball in the absence of TJ McNeil, who is on the court, but for some reason is not taking up the ball anymore. And Chance to get a turnover there for Arlington, but it went in between the legs of VJ Simmons. And Tyson gives a nice dime off to Lissiere, who's going to take it right in for 2.
That's a terrible take. You got to dunk that if you're 6'8", man. I hope you listen to this. If you're wide open for that layup, give us something to show for, man. Give us some excitement. You got to dunk that ball hard.
And it is now the biggest lead of the game for Collierville, up to 4 points now. Good move there by Anthony Hester, taking it down to 2 with the little Euro and the finger roll up for the layup on the big man. Cutting it back down to 2 points as Tyson's going to take it. Another pass to the big man for the mid-range. No good as Hester's just doing it all right now, taking it in, getting boards.
I'm telling you, man, he plays like his pants are on fire. Always moving is the speed of light, and somehow he finds a way to go in, sort of like Memphis' own John Morant.
Wow. They're going to call him for the travel. I guess Cruz Butler's jumping kind of scared him out of place as he went before he took the dribble. You always got to dribble the ball before you can move, so that's the right call by the referee.
And that's a common mistake there for a lot of shooters, trying to move their feet and settle in after they've caught the ball. At this fast pace of the game, it's not surprising that that's going to happen a few times.
A new sub in for the Dragons is going to be B.J. Boyce, going to take the place of Isaiah Tyson. Looking for an inbound is going to go to Tyler McNeil.
And I love the makeup of this Collierville team. You've got the big guys down low, but also you've got the small guards who just ignite craziness and chaos. I love that this team is just so well-rounded.
I think that the Arlington player wanted to get that lob in from Taggart, thought that he was dressed out to play for Arlington tonight. Didn't know it was coming, though. I'm sure he would have thrown it down.
He probably could have dunked it from where he was standing, for sure.
It's going to be T.J. McNeil back to handling the ball for the Dragons. Wide open in the paint. But the kick out, no good. Good board by Cruz Butler, just comes crashing in. Cruz forces the defender off him. A couple moves, get the tie game. No foul called, but they're going to get the lay anyway.
Less charge last time. Ref's just letting that one go for Cruz Butler, but he's able to get the ball and put it right back in. Good awareness, not to stop, expecting the whistle to blow. Continue to play till that whistle is blown, and that earns him a bucket.
I don't think Vandenberg had his feet set before he got in there. Kind of slid right at the last minute to get over there, and that's why the play kept going.
Arlington, ever since they switched to the zone, has been able to match up so much better. Now 2 guys are able to guard the 6'8" guys down low, and that helps tremendously to a team that loves to play through the lane.
Well, B.J. Boyce subbed in very briefly, but is back to Dallas Berkeley. Lussier's in the paint, too easy for him, but he can't get it. Big board for Alex Wiley, and that's going to be a foul on Collierville, it looks like, kind of pushed down on Wiley.
I am very impressed with this Arlington team, that they're able to tie this game right now, even though they've got 9 less wins than their opponent. Coach Brewer came in with a very, very good game plan.
Taking a look at this replay, you see the big man is having his will in the paint, but just can't finish the shot. And Arlington plays really good defense to get the rebound, keep the big man out of the paint, and ultimately get the foul. Still a little pressure being applied to VJ Simmons, but he knows how to clear it. Trying to set up the offense. Good shifting move, just can't finish. Board goes to the big man, Vandenberg.
And he's so savvy. I like that shot from VJ.
McNeil gets it to fall. Didn't think it was going to go at first, but they're going to take a 2-point lead off a slick mid-range jumper.
Collierville just deciding to trap in the corner, instituting some of that pressure that Arlington's put in a little bit.
They're going to call a foul, it looks like. I'm not really sure why, considering it should have been a jump ball, which would have gone Collierville's way, but I don't really see where the foul was.
Anthony Hester has a little bit of remnants of Michael Orr. I mean, you see that he's going to play to the whistle every single time. You'd love to have that from your bench guard. Again, Tyler McNeil and Anthony Hester able to come off the bench for this team. Just allows them to keep up the pressure the whole game.
Something I'm curious to see is Luke McBride hasn't been in this game since about 4 minutes in the first quarter. He's the biggest guy they have, but he's not playing any minutes. I'd be curious to see when he comes back or why they're holding him out.
Well, he might be in foul trouble, but also I don't think that was a terrible decision because it's a 2-point game right now without your biggest guy on the floor.
That's a fair point.
Number 0, T.J. McNeil is second. Checking in from the Dragons, Isaiah Tyson.
So Cruz Butler's going to inbound the ball here. He gets it into VJ Simmons. Another shooting type lineup assembled here as Jalen Batts is going to be subbed into the game. A slick move by VJ, looks it, kicks out to Cruz Butler, trying to set it back up, but this Collierville defense is doing very well. Quick shot for VJ, no good. Pushing it up now is Tyson, trying to make a play to extend this lead back up to 4. Deep pass over to Lundenberg for 3. That's no Vandenberg for 3. That's the second time I've done that. I'm getting the big men confused and combining their names. But Vandenberg, he's going to score it.
Again, only a 4-point game right now. Arlington still keeping it close without the big men on the floor. That's such a luxury to have, to keep the game close without those key players. Arlington playing their cards right and keeping it close.
Huffstetler gets him on the pump fake. It's going to be Jalen Batts, so good at that mid-range jumper, knocking it in and keeping it within 2. My buddy Jake thinks that should have been a 3.
That should have been a 3, man.
But his feet were well in front of the line from my point of view.
Jalen Batts able to bring it out and be that stretch big that they need. You would say big, but he's still 5 inches shorter than the opposing centers, but he plays tough to make up for it.
VJ Simmons getting his hand on the ball, up and under there. What a good shot by Dillard.
Again, VJ bringing down the ball right now. He does that little play where he backs into the defender. So well played.
Lucas Huffstetler, they thought he was going to shoot. I don't know what happened there. He just lost the ball completely. Another turnover for the Tigers. And they can't convert. Still can't convert. Vandenberg's gonna they're gonna call a foul. It's no good again.
Foul charge to the Tigers.
And Vandenberg getting involved in all assets of the game. You saw him take that 3 earlier in the game. His rebounds have been really impressive as well. He's a big man, but he doesn't just stick down low. Having a versatile guy like this just helps Collierville so much, especially when they can rotate him in and out.
Well, Collierville has 3 guys on the floor right now that stand taller than the tallest guy that Arlington has to offer right now. They have McRae, Vandenberg, and they also have who's subbing out now for someone shorter, so it doesn't apply as much, but they did have number 24, Luke Rodier, in for the game. So there's just so many big fellas in for Collierville that it doesn't really matter. One can be tired and they can just pull them out and reload.
And it's really just the Vandenberg show right now. No matter how much they've switched it up, he's been that consistent piece every time he's in. It seems like he's going to be the driving force in the offensive end whenever they've got him in the game. Good thing they have guys to continue to sub him out and keep him fresh.
McNeil's going to try to work this one. A good kick out to Huffstetler for his 3rd 3. He knocks it in. Keeping them in this game. It's a 3-point game. He's got 3 threes. He's got the hot hand.
You cannot leave him open on the outside. That's a mistake they've made 3 times now. Didn't look at the scouting report very well because Huffstetler is a guy you've got to watch for.
Well, Huffstetler's got 11 in this game. If they can keep him going, it's going to be a close one all night.
So many fouls for the defense. And you can hit all the threes you want, but Collierville playing this right as well, continuing to drive and wearing down this Arlington defense, getting those easy buckets. You may not have the best shooting night, but when you can get fouled in the paint and get those free throws, it's a pretty easy night.
Vandenberg draws one of his many fouls tonight, and he's going to increase the lead to 4 again. He's been pretty proficient in knocking down his free throws. I think he's only missed 1 on the night.
Overall, I'm really impressed with this Collierville team. Arlington continuing to go on runs of their own, but they've stayed steady, they stay consistent.
Knocks both of them in again, so it's going to be a 5-point game here. They can just continue to foul and keep this lead if they know how to draw them.
Only 20 seconds left. We'll see what VJ and the Tigers can do here to try to cut this to a 2 or 3-point game.
Jalen Bass going to take it up, picks up the dribble back to VJ Simmons. Cruz Butler looks up into the corner, but he finds McNeil instead. Holding it out for the last shot potentially. McNeil bricks it off the side of the backboard, and a long shot from to our friend Evan Norman. Evan, what do you got for us?
Well, Brent, I think this Arlington team is honestly doing a great job so far. The Collierville team is very quick, as you can tell. Arlington needs to make sure they play at their own speed, and after they get past that press, I think they need to control the ball, slow it down, get the passes moving, get the ball moving on the floor. Lucas Hupstetler is leading this game and becoming a key player in the first half with 11 points so far. Another key thing is going to have to be ball movement in the second half. I think if we get the passes going and get them rolling, I think it's going to break down the Collierville defense and overall get the boards up for Arlington. Another thing is Luke McBride has not seen a lot of action in the second quarter and rarely any in the first quarter. He's in a little bit of foul trouble, only 2 fouls though, and I think if he gets back in, it can make a possibly big impact for this team. Overall, this team has only let the Collierville Dragons lead by 5. I think that's really great. Now we're going to go to a short break and we'll be back.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. I can't lie and say it was easy. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
It's here, at Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
to see where we're going. We adapt.
Because we know there's a world of opportunity for all.
We thrive under pressure
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think, create,
achieve.
Welcome back to Arlington High School. It is halftime of the Arlington I'm about to say Cordova again. Collierville game here tonight. I don't know what it is about the green, but I just keep seeing it and I keep saying it. I don't know, but it is a close game. It is 26-21 at halftime. Arlington kind of surprising the doubters right now, keeping it within 5 against this really good Collierville team. I don't know what's up.
There you go. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You just had some water, so you got to get refreshed a little bit with that fresh water, fresh H2O. This is exactly how the MHEA game went last year. That was arguably probably the most popular game we had last year for the guys. Solid first quarter, solid second quarter. We're able to keep it close in the second half. But the MHEA playmakers, Justin Morgan, Drew Kaiser, Luke Shoemaker, were able to run it up in the second half. Arlington has to have a good game plan coming out in the second half if they want to keep it close, because you've already seen they're not going to score a lot of points, but their defense keeps them in the game. The defense has to stay solid if they want a chance.
Yeah, and I think something that we have talked about a lot tonight, but is still important, is that Luke McBride has not played a lot of minutes here tonight. And he may not always be the one that puts up the most points for the Tigers, but he is the biggest by far on the Tigers team. And so not having him on the floor for more than 12 minutes of this game so far is really a testament to them staying in this game, because think of on paper, the Tigers, without him doing well, means that with him in the game, when they have a bigger body, they should be able to do even better with him in. So I'll be curious to see if with only 2 fouls, if they hold him out in the second half or if they bring him back in to add some extra size.
It might be because he doesn't have that outside shot as well as you want him to. That would be something he can improve because he's fast enough, he's quick enough, he knows how to move on his feet to where he can keep up with the fast pace of the game. However, when you don't have that outside shot, Arlington has to rely on a lot of three-pointers. If he can't do that, then you may not need to put him in the game. But overall, I agree. Luke McBride needs to see some more action if they want to have a chance and guard these big guys for Collierville.
Yeah, and speaking of good shooters, Arlington needs to continue to get the ball to Lucas Huffstetler. 100% from three. To keep taking those shots, they need to keep finding him because, in my opinion, that's kind of what's keeping them in the game right now. And that's silky smooth shooting, sorry, trying to alliterate here, is what's really keeping them in the game.
There you go. And you've got to keep them involved. You also have to stop fouling Alex Vandenberg. He's been to the line 5 or 6 times. You've got to get him out of the paint if you want to have a chance.
Yeah, and it is 26-21 here at halftime. Arlington is only down 5. We're about to see what happens in the second half, and we'll be back after a short break.
We recently spoke with the Arlington High School basketball player who is a senior who not only excels on the court but excels in the classroom. Let's see what he has to say.
One thing that keeps Grady motivated.
My grades are very important to me. I'm taking 7 AP classes, and balancing that with basketball is always really important. Maintaining the GPA and scoring well on all the tests, you know, like ACTs and stuff.
Grady Turner recently discovered his hard work has paid off by scoring a near-perfect score of 35 on his ACT. However, Grady says it's not without struggle.
Yeah, it is difficult managing school and a sport and keeping the grades high, but like if I focus mainly on school during school hours and make sure I do all my work and then focus on basketball when it's time for basketball after school, I can get a lot of my work done that way, and then I only have, you know, maybe an hour after practice of schoolwork to do, and then I'm done for the day.
By being a role model to his teammates, Grady shows that by keeping your focus, you can be successful both on the court and in the classroom, but support is key.
The biggest piece of advice I could give somebody who's trying to balance work in school or sports in school is don't be afraid to ask for help. I have to ask for help all the time, whether it's from my parents or from other classmates. More often than not, they're going to be willing to help. So, you know, just don't be afraid to ask.
Grady plans on pursuing a challenging field in the future, and his focus on academic excellence remains at the core of his success.
So my plans for after high school, I want to go to either UTK or Georgia Tech and study nuclear engineering. Having high grades and a high ACT score has made this a lot easier, and I'm looking forward to this next chapter in my life.
We've been talking a lot about former basketball players for Arlington today, but one especially stands out too if you really look at it. One now football player, Dermont Green, was housed and adopted by Harley Kalin and his family. Arlington, maybe if they're not on the team, but they're still bonding. I love to see that for sure. Here's a little bit about Dermont and Harley.
I never thought that I would get a brother out of playing a sport of basketball, and I'm very thankful for Harley's family for taking me in like I was one of their own and like give me an opportunity to play football for Arlington.
My name is Dermont Green. I play basketball and football, and I'm a senior at Arlington. Okay, my living situation was very, rough. Back in Memphis, everything like crime rate was like very high. over the summer basketball, we played AAU. So like I used to go over his house like every like weekend because like we used to travel like to all these different states because of AAU basketball. And like since I was older for a long time, they just asked me like if I wanted to go to Arlington, and I was just like, yeah.
And the summer before 9th grade, we played basketball together, and he was on my basketball team, and that's how I met him. Right when school ended, he came over to stay the night and hang out, but he stayed for like a week because he lived far away and we weren't trying to make that long drive. And then he ended up hanging out like most of the summer.
My relationship with Harley and his family is very, you know, neutral. It's very good, positive. We don't bump heads. It's very good. I mean, at first, I didn't think like Harley was this type of like very enthusiastic guy, because he was very like dull. But then I found out about this other side of Harley, and it like really made me like him. I started playing football this year just to see like how it feels just being on that field on Friday night. And I got a lot of reps in this year, and I ended the year with like 4 interceptions, you know, a lot of tackles. I feel like I helped my team out.
His family ended up having to move to Arkansas, so they were trying to find a school for him to go to, and my mom offered for him to stay with us and go to Arlington. I like having Herman as a brother because anytime there's something I have to do, I have someone to do it with, and I'm not doing it by myself. Like if we need to do our homework or something, we can do it together. And then if I have to go to like a family event and I'm the only one of my age there, I have Herman to hang out with, so it makes it a little better.
I'm very thankful for Harley's family, and if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be able to play Arlington football.
Yeah, and that's a really cool story we have from two former Arlington basketball players. Both played together freshman year and then both decided to leave for personal reasons. But that's a really cool story, and that's right here in Arlington, and you can find those all the time if you just look. But speaking of things that you don't really have to look hard for, there was a lot of highlights from this first half. So we're going to take a look at some of those big highlights, kind of the keys to why Arlington is still here.
Lucas Husseller has been hot so far. 3 threes, having 11 points right now. He's the leading scorer for the Arlington Tigers. If you ask for anybody to step up, Hufsteller may not be on your list, but you got to put him on your radar tonight. You go off in the second half.
And Lucas Hufsteller doesn't really need to step up. He just needs to spot up, hitting threes with ease every night.
Cruz Butler also second leading scorer on the team right now, driving in, playing to the whistle, which has allowed him to make a lot of plays that really helped him out. So I love to see Cruz Butler and Lucas Hufsteller, two guys that aren't even in top 3 in the scoring, have really done well today.
And it's going to be really important to see if they can keep that scoring going into the second half, because if it starts to go to a minimum, then they're not going to be able to stay in this game very long.
Yeah, for sure. And we got to see how Arlington can play down well in the paint. You've got Luke McBride's coming out in the second half. He's ready. He's ready for some action. Those guys down low for Collierville, Vanderburg, then you've got Lucier. You've got to be able to stop them and not foul them anymore. You can't have free throws taken for them so much.
Yeah, and we're going to go to Evan one more time before we get the second half going. Evan, you got something else for us?
Overall, I think the Arlington Tigers are honestly in this game to win it. I think they've played well. I think they can continue to play well, and I'm excited to see how the second half goes for this matchup.
Thank you, Evan. As the second half is getting started, Luke McBride is back into this game to add the maximum size that Arlington can have back on the floor. We'll see if it works or if the guard play was really the key. And Alex Wiley is going to lace up a 3 right away, but it's no good. Collierville is going to clear the board.
And you have to guard him. You cannot leave him open. He doesn't miss those very often. The leading three-point shooter on this team.
Oh, my goodness. What a move there by Vandenberg. Just got a little jelly in there and found a way to get it to fall. And just poor play there by Arlington, and it leads to a turnover. It's 33-26. Arlington's going to lose it quick if they can't stay in it.
Alex Wiley gave up on that one. Looked like he could have had a shot at the board, but Vandenberg was too quick and too assertive. Wiley just gave up on the play.
Tyson continues to run point from Collierville. as McNeil could not get that shot to fall.
And no one boxing out for Arlington on the offensive boards either, or the defensive boards. You got to have bodies hit bodies if you want to get rebounds.
Good move there from Cruz Butler. Didn't get it the first time, but then the second time around, he found a way to get it, playing to the whistle every time. Quick timeout is called by the Tigers, as they do not like what they saw, especially from those early turnovers in the first minute.
Arlington only allows 60 points per game. They're right about at that mark right now for Collierville, but also they only average 48 points a game. So they're going to have to move up in the point category if they want to stand a chance, but also Collierville cannot score these points in bunches. You're going to have to keep it steady and consistent like Collierville likes to play. Arlington just has to limit those big runs if they want to stand a chance and stay close.
Yeah, and Arlington only has 2 main scorers for the night. Cruz Butler and Lucas Huffsteller are really doing the big bulk of the work here. It might take someone else like VJ Simmons stepping up to keep them in this game.
And Carl Burrows, Aiden Moskovitz, 2 of the go-to scorers last year from the three-point line, are no longer here. Alex Wiley and VJ having to step up, and then Lucas Huffsteller, add him to the mix. You've got 3 decent shooters here for the Tigers.
The foul's going to be called. They're going to call another timeout. Questioning why they're calling timeout so early, kind of burning them right away. That one's going to be a timeout on Collierville. Doesn't look like head coach liked what he saw there.
But they've still got 3 and 4 respectively. They're willing to burn them, and obviously both teams right now are not doing what was talked about in the halftime report. That's why you're seeing the 2 early timeouts. After this, I expect some quick action, maybe some shots from three-point line. We'll see what we can do, but either way, for both teams, you cannot have them score in bunches. You've got to trade buckets to keep this game close, because I think if either team, especially Arlington, if they allow Collierville to score fast, they might lose all motivation and that tough grit that they've got on defense.
Looks to me like Arlington doesn't appear to be at too much of a size disadvantage here. Besides the obvious Vandenberg, Luke McBride kind of offsets that, but they seem to have, this might be their best matchup. Cruz Butler gets wide open for 3. That's no good. They clear the rebound, though. Cruz is just so good at getting himself to the basket, even if it's a missed shot.
He can follow his shot really well, and he's done that 3 times. That's a missed offensive foul there. But either way, Cruz Butler's been all over the floor and really active.
They call the travel to make up for it. The ref might have known what was up, but they get the travel anyway. TJ McNeil's going to get the turnover.
Cruz Butler finding himself all over the floor right now. Had that offensive rebound layup, another offensive rebound, then goes down the floor and is a big factor in that turnover there on the offense for Collierville. Super impressed here by Cruz Butler.
BJ Simmons messes around with the dribble a little bit, but then gets it off to Luke McBride, who's going to try to do some work in the paint. Blocked right away.
And that doesn't happen very often for McBride.
And then Vandenberg's going to lose the ball immediately out of bounds. So a little bit of sloppy play here to start the second half. Not the kind of uptight basketball that was being played in the first.
Well, that's what happens when you come out of the halftime report and the plans don't go as they're supposed to. Everything gets so sloppy. Both teams are trying to play fast. And when you both play fast, the team that ends up coming out on top is the team that makes the least mistakes. Let's see who can do that here as the Tigers have the ball.
Luke tries to set a screen. VJ picks up his dribble, but then drops back off the screen. Cruz Butler trying to make it work. Clears it back out. Lucas Huffstetter has the ball. Arlington trying to get inside this Collierville defense. They can't seem to find their way in. Just a sloppy shot from VJ Simmons.
Yeah, that's a wild backwards throw-up shot there. Coach Brewer not happy.
Looked like to be an easy throw-up for Lucier, but he just can't get it to fall. It's going to be McNeil for 3. Too easy for him, but not really, because none of these shots just want to fall.
That's a good foul there for Collierville. Simmons would have had the wide open layup, fast break there. If the foul was not called on Isaiah Tyson, the junior. Good heads up play there to foul in the midst of a desperate situation.
They're going to call the second foul on Collierville here to start the second half. We'll see if those build a little bit more. Arlington might be going to the free throw line.
Not many points get scored in this second half yet. Both teams trying to play as fast as possible.
No good from 3 there. Loose ball. Cruz Butler so good at knowing where the ball is going for the and one. They're going to call it on the floor anyway.
Again, Cruz Butler being at the right place at the right time. On that one, he hadn't run back in time, but still found a way to come up with the loose ball. When you look at guys in high school basketball, not all of them are going to be just the best shooter on the floor like an Amani Bates or something like that, or Mikey Williams, but the role players are really what you need.
Alex Wiley tried to get a mid-range jumper off. Can't quite get the look he wanted. It's no good. Collierville's trying to move up the floor with speed.
Wow. hard foul there by Huffstetler.
Seems like a take foul, kind of like he did it on purpose.
Well, that and he was kind of crowded in the corner at the half-court line, was trying to do anything he could to try to get him over, get that over the back or over and back called on him, but just came in with the arms. You can't do that, especially in the front court.
McNeil's going to take the ball up again for the Dragons. Tyson's been handling those duties, but with him on the bench right now, McNeil's going to get it. Wide open for three again. That one's no good. Has not been shooting very well tonight.
I mean, when you can't move the ball through the big men to get open shots, then you're not going to make buckets. That's what we're seeing here from Collierville. Rather than in the first half, they're relying on those three deep shots.
Luke McBride tried to fake the three-pointer. Defense didn't fall for that one, though. Kicks it out to Lucas Huffstetler for three. That's no good. Try to get the board. They're going to call out of bounds off Collierville. Looked like a hard hit there that Ant took.
And again, one of the smallest guys on the floor. The list says 5'10", but there's no way he's 5'10". He's probably 5'7", 5'8". One of the smallest guys on the floor, able to get in there and get the ball back for Arlington off on Collierville.
Luke gets the ball into Cruz Butler. He's been the most consistent one tonight as Lucas has been missing his threes as of late. We'll see if he can get involved here with the bucket.
And Vandenberg guarding Butler right now. Complete mismatch, just overpowers him there.
Lessier's going to lose the ball out of bounds. Still sloppy play.
And you can see the frustration setting in there for Collierville. Not many points so far in the second half. And at the amount and the rate that they scored in the first half, you can see why they're frustrated, why Taggart's got to change something up.
DJ Simmons is going to give it to Lucas. Ooh, Hester holds onto the ball, but barely. Lucas Huffstetler gets open for a second, but he's stripped down the line. It's going to be Berkeley all the way for the easy layup.
And the team that wins is going to be the team that doesn't make the most mistakes. Collierville there taking advantage of the sloppy Arlington turnover.
Lucas Huffstetler out in transition, finds Cruz Butler, decides not to pull up. He's going to try to take it in the paint again. The foul is called this time. He's going to go to the line, but he seemed a little outmatched there again. He couldn't quite get his body in.
I mean, even if he can't finish the N1 opportunities, he's still getting to the line. Three fouls here for Collierville, especially on the big men. That's been all the fouls so far. Arlington's planned game of attack is coming to drive in the paint, get them in foul trouble. Luke McBride, though, coming back, we've talked about it a lot this game. He has not been super involved, even in the game. His impact is not being seen at the moment.
Cruz Butler misses a crucial free throw. Look at that replay. He gets his body inside, but never really gets good position on the shot. You would like to see if he could try to get position in there for the and one, but even if he can make do with 1 point here, that'd be nice, and he does, to cut the lead back down to 6.
I think the way they're playing right now, the fast pace, I think anybody will take that free throw stoppage of play to get a little bit of rest, get recollected. I think both those teams needed that as we see McNeil come in for the Tigers.
BJ Boyce was only in for about 15 seconds last time he saw the court. They have him sub back in again as McNeil for Collierville is going to have the ball now. Vandenberg trying to work inside. 4 Tigers swarm him. A little push there from Vandenberg to get the board, getting a little chippy. No call. Collierville still has it. McNeil with a nice pass, and they call a foul. TJ Thompson's going to go to the line. I think they may have missed. Vandenberg got a little chippy there and pushed Arlington out of the way. But nonetheless, it's going to be a foul on Arlington added to the count.
He's only got 14. He's got 14 points in this game, but only 2 in this half. You can see the frustration is setting in there. Having Luke McBride in, it doesn't make it as easy on the offensive end. You can see why.
When you go from getting guarded by a 5'8" dude to getting guarded by a 6'6" guy, he may not be as strong as you, but the size does make a difference. Thompson no good on the first and the second. Luke McBride gets the board in there, just had perfect position for the rebound. McNeil's going to take the ball up for Arlington. Trying a couple stutter steps, gets the ball, finds Simmons. Luke McBride's not going to shoot the 3, so he gives it off to Hester. Hester draws the foul. That's going to be 4 on Collierville. So many fouls being called here tonight.
And like we predicted, both teams using those 2 timeouts early haven't used one since. They're both relying on their fast style of play. Both teams playing the exact same right now.
Another turnover for the Tigers, just added to the column. McNeil's trying to get in, a little bit of a push-off. They're going to call the foul on Arlington for the push-off from McNeil, so Collierville's going to go to the line for another and one.
Aunt Hester just jumped on top of Tyler McNeil for whatever reason. I didn't really care about that shot. I was just impressed by Hester's hops.
Checking in for the Dragons, number 21, Yusuf Salem.
Looks like they may have called the, okay, never mind. They've changed the scoreboard. It's now 37-29 with another and one opportunity. Finds a way to roll around and get in. Arlington needs to get some points on the board. They're gonna call a foul on Collierville and Dallas Berkeley.
McBride subbing out of the game, doing everything but showing up in the point category. He's obviously had his impact as Vandenberg has been held to 0. When you've got a guy as good as that on the offensive end, only holding him to 2 points in 8 minutes, I think that's a win.
And we're gonna see if Arlington can recreate the success they had when McBride was not on the court last time. Hester's gonna take the ball up. Collierville running a 2-man press. Butler trying to work with it on Simmons. Thompson. Here's Hester with the ball, heavily guarded. Gets into the paint, kicks it out, straight to the Arlington bench.
And that's the problem with playing so fast for the Tigers, especially with Hester. He loves to dribble the ball and make decisions on the fly. The only issue with that is it causes turnovers. The team who wins will be the team with the least turnovers, but the Tigers have had 4 in the last couple minutes.
They're playing too quick for their own good. They can't see where the ball's going. They see any white jersey and they're just throwing it towards it. Sadly, there's about 8 of them, but they're all on the bench.
And that's the problem with taking McBride out of the game. Those screens like that can easily free up players in the paint. You saw that there at Collierville, just playing the right way right now, especially on defense.
Well, it looks like Coach Brewer's going to take that hint. They're going to bring Alex Wiley back into the game. A timeout is called after that scrappy play.
Full timeout.
Collierville getting all over the ground for it. Man, it is 40-29 right now. Collierville is leading, but we're going to take a quick moment to talk about one of the sponsors of this here live stream, Sunrise Builder Supply. When you're a home builder, contractor, or DIY homeowner, they have the quality supplies that you need. So check out Sunrise Builder Supply if you know you're an adult that needs home building needs. I know I'm not an adult, but I'm sure that my family could use stuff like that.
Well, we are 18, so technically we are adults, but yeah, you're right.
I'm not building a home anytime soon.
I'm not a builder, yeah.
You could be a contractor or a DIY homeowner, though.
Now that seems a little bit more appealing. I might look into something like that, but I don't think us broadcasters would fare very well out in the field with some woodwork.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the woodwork that is the hardwood, that kind of wood.
And some supplies that the Tigers need is a little bit more height. McBride coming back into the game. The 6'6" man, Vandenberg, is also not in the game, so you've got a little bit more height on the Arlington side. Let's see if that can benefit them to cut this lead a little bit closer as you go into the fourth quarter.
Arlington's working with Wiley, McNeil, Simmons, McBride, and Cruz Butler. As McNeil's going to try and be the primary ball handler here for Arlington as they are down by more than 10 for the first time this game. Cruz drives inside. He looks like he's kind of slapped around a bit, but it's going to be another turnover as the ball goes to Thompson. They're going to call it a jump ball.
That looked like a travel to me before the ball was even grabbed.
With Collierville.
But either way, if you're a Tiger fan,
replay, doesn't even look, the ball didn't even look like they had possession of it, so I think you're right, Jake. It should have been a travel.
Yeah, I assumed it was, but if you're a Tiger fan, not the worst case scenario. Possession arrow goes back to the Tigers, which could benefit late. That's a weird foul call there on McBride. Looked like he hit the ball from behind, but either way, if you're a big man, you've got to know that if you're going to try to block the ball and you're not sure if it's clean, you got to be in front of the ball handler, because that's going to be a foul almost every single time, even if you don't hit the hand.
Yeah, and it looked like McBride just got the ball clean from behind, but the ref saw it different, and they're going to call a foul, sending Thompson to the line.
TJ Thompson's had a quiet night, but those shoes have not. Man, look at those green things. I love those.
Something else is going to be called here.
Probably another lane violation or something.
There was 2 shots, not one. A little eager to play.
Man, both teams are just so excited, so frantic right now. They don't even know what's going on. Arlington has not scored since 7 minutes left in the second half.
Good board from Luke McBride there. They called a jump ball faster than that on the Thompson travel. They're not going to hold it now, and it looks like they're going to call
and
something.
Collierville there asking for the swing of the elbows, but Collierville was the one who had their hands wrapped around McBride, limiting him from doing anything. I mean, how in the world is he supposed to get rid of the ball without using his elbows in that situation?
They finally clear it past half court. Wiley's going to give it over to McNeil, looking to get something going with Huffsteller back in the game. We'll see if he can spot up open.
Huffsteller's the guy that you need to get going. But again, like we talked about in the girls' game, you don't have to do it super fast.
It looked like Isaiah Tyson wanted to dunk the ball there for a minute. It also looks like number 15, Webb Thomas, has a mouth guard in. But that's besides the point.
That's a good observation there, Brent.
You know, they always tell the defender to be able to smell the gum they're chewing. I don't think he's chewing any gum, but he definitely has a mouth guard in.
What movie was that from?
It's from Hoosiers.
Yeah,
I know.
There we go.
I'm from Indiana. Yeah. I got to get that right, even
Just
though it has nothing to do with Indiana.
If you wouldn't have known that, then, man, that would have been sad.
Man.
But what you should know is, man, Sean Taggart over there from Memphis has led a very successful Memphis college basketball program. He was a part of that team in 08, went to the national championship. He's got that experience in late game situations. Unfortunately, the late game situation experience he has was a Mario Chalmers 3.
Yeah, talking about that experience. Let's hope that Collierville doesn't have to have a repeat of that possibly in the championship game, minus the, test scores and all that.
Yeah, there you go. Brent's a Penn State fan. I like to rub in Memphis's awesome history a lot of times, but,
Awesome history can be brought into question, But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Arlington basketball. You can tune into another show that I know if you want to listen to me and Jake debate on that.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't interview him after the game, blowing that lead in 08. That was more of Derrick Rowe's problem, though, if we're being honest.
Another missed free throw there for Arlington. Mr. Mouthguard is going to get in for a travel. We're not laughing
Mr. Mouthguard. Oh, my goodness. Webb.
Beautiful pass.
Webb had a great
His
drive
last
and a good
name
pass.
is Thomas.
There you go.
His first name is Webb. Kind of like Spud Webb, only a little taller. There he is again.
There's
Mr.
Thomas
Mouthguard.
again, driving it in the paint. Got fouled there by Alex Wiley, who has a quiet night. He's typically used on the offensive end, shooting those three-point shots, but, man, they've barely been able to cross half court the last couple minutes. He hasn't gotten that opportunity.
See, Jake, you gotta bring the audience in with things that they'll remember. They're gonna remember Mr. Mouthguard.
It's very true.
Look at that. You can see it on the screen.
Wow,
He's
what
got
a
it.
guy. What a guy.
Maybe it's helping him shoot his free throws. Got some of Michael's special stuff in there.
Like gelled into it? Is that how it worked?
Well, I mean, Michael's secret stuff was just water, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just some water.
Well, that secret stuff killed my computer. Jake is not very happy right now, but it's okay. Arlington not either. 16-point deficit right now for the Tigers. Let's see if they can get back on the board and have a little bit of momentum going into the fourth quarter. Yeah, clock did not run there. That's an issue from the scores table. Probably a good thing for Arlington, though, as it looked like that play was going nowhere.
Yeah, Luke McBride is the primary ball handler in a trap situation. Probably wasn't going to end well, so they'll take the reset.
That's the only issue the scores table has had this game, so pretty successful night over there. I wouldn't be too disappointed.
Yeah, and Arlington hasn't scored in a minute. Need to get back in the scores column. Kind of the same situation we saw with the girls for Collierville, where they were kind of in the game, but they didn't ever make that run to get back in. Arlington has allowed 10 more points this quarter than they were down at halftime, so it's going to be important for them getting back in the game. That does not help.
And Collierville's ball pressure is just keeping Arlington from doing anything they want to do. The simple full court press break is not going to work when they've got four guys within the free throw line and the baseline. Arlington running out of options here as they have been held scoreless since 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
And a timeout is going to be called by the Collierville Dragons.
And Arlington struggling in all ways right now, and that's the thing we talked about with McBride. Not having that extra ball handler in the game to get the ball past half court is a reason for this deficit right now. But if you're Coach Brewer, you're kind of a little bit out of options because you either can choose to play offense, defense, but that's not really an option in a fast-paced game like this. You either choose to guard the big men down low with McBride or have an extra ball handler, and Collierville's not leaving them very many options.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see how much Arlington has left in the tank. We know Collierville has the big men to just run them out of this game, but does Arlington have any scoring left? Can they get the ball and make it a close game, maybe get some three-pointers to fall?
And I don't know if three-point shots is the way to go, though, because, I mean, average for them is about 30-something%. That's 3 out of every 10. I don't know if you can rely on the three-point shots at this point in the game.
Man, that's Webb Thomas there with the turnover.
It's probably the mouth guard, right?
I like to call him Mr. Mouth Guard. That is not a diss in any way. It's just a fun nickname.
McBride coming up there to get the ball.
He's gonna shoot it. Nope, he's not.
Man, tough out there for the Tigers.
It's only a 16-point game at the end of the third quarter, though, so we'll see if the Tigers can keep it in. But if you don't know or don't hear them during the sidelines of all of our basketball and football games, the cheerleaders for the Arlington sideline have a story that they'd like to tell in this next package. Let's take a look.
And I am on the basketball cheer team. Being a leader isn't just for like small things. Being a leader this year was a lot for me. Everything has changed. Knowing that this is my first time coming to Arlington being a cheerleader, this cheer team has really changed me in many ways. As the way I talk to my teammates, I just feel like it's more than just cheer to it. It's like a bond there. And the way I interact with them, I make sure I get to know them personally than just cheering with them. The different ways I encourage my younger teammates is that once you become a cheerleader, you have to focus more on your grades, your academics, everything. And you can't just focus on cheer because cheer comes with a lot of things. Like me, once I became a cheerleader, my grades has been high ever since I became a cheerleader. So I would rather say be positive the entire season. Basketball cheer has taught me that you can't always go into a new squad thinking that you will have everything. You have to know that it's a lot coming when you're a new person going into cheer, that everything just won't go your way being a cheerleader. Basketball cheer impacted me in many ways. Basketball isn't just something I do for a few hours. Basketball also made me the way I am. I use cheer to release anything that I physically don't want to go through. So I use cheer in many different ways and not just to be there supporting.
We are back here at the start of the fourth quarter. Arlington down 16, still trying to mount a comeback here to end the game. Travel is called by number 2, BJ Boyce. Arlington's going to get a chance to maybe pull back into it again.
I mean, they got to cross half court first. They still are going big with Luke McBride in the game, leaving little options to bring the ball up. Going small would not be a bad option here for Coach Brewer.
Lucas Huffstetler with the ball, kicks it over to Luke McBride. Back to Lucas Huffstetler for 3. That's no good. He hasn't hit one since the first half.
Great textbook box out there by Boyce. A guard boxing out. Cruz Butler was able to get that rebound and push it up the floor.
McRae loses the ball to Huffstetler, and here comes VJ Simmons working the ball up the court. Back to Huffstetler, and they just can't hold on to the ball right now.
Just trying to go way too fast on the offensive end again. There's not much room for the Tigers to come back here with the way they play. They like to play fast, and sometimes that causes chaos, but right now you need to take the best shots possible, but the way they like to play, it's not very good right now.
And Lucas Huffstetler is 3 for 7 from 3. He started out 3 for 3 in this game. Good drop off there for Cruz. Alex Wiley couldn't finish, but a foul is called, so they'll have an opportunity to put their first points back on the board in a while.
The 6'4" Daryl Brady was able to block that one against Alex Wiley, only 6'1". He's got 3 inches on him. And also Alex, I don't know if he knew that he was that tall on the back of him. Just kind of put that up and got lucky with the foul call.
Wiley misses the first, keeping the scoring drought going.
Scoring drought continues, and we talked about this with MHEA. The players that matter on this Collierville team are going to step up. And can you respond? And so far, Arlington, with all those lost players in the offseason and to start this season as well, just has not been able to do that.
Cruz Butler getting in there for the offensive rebound. A jump ball is going to be called, which means that it stays with Arlington.
Let's see if they can get a three here, get some momentum. Maybe a little action for Wiley to come back in the corner and catch the three ball.
No comeback corner here, but we'll see if Luke McBride can get something going. A little volley pass. Hop step for Cruz Butler into the paint, no good. Ball jumps around, but it's Vandenberg who's going to clear it for McNeil now.
Textbook move, just couldn't finish.
Good bounce pass to Lassier. He's going to work with the double. They're going to call a foul on the wrist from Lucas Huffstetler. Going to be a reach there.
Yeah, he's really active with his hands and his feet, which is really good for Arlington right now in the situation. You just have to be careful. When someone is down low and you're hacking and it's not working, you've got to kind of pull back there because the ref's going to call that almost every single time down the floor. But I am really impressed with Lucas, though, so far this game. He's been really active. He's shot the ball pretty well. He's had a solid game thus far. No reason to hang your hat down.
No, for sure. Just needs to keep his mind in the right space, maybe knock down some threes if he gets some open opportunities. Here's VJ Simmons for the mid-range. That's no good. Nothing can fall for the Tigers right now. It's going to be Dallas Berkeley kicking it out to McNeil. Block foul there now.
Foul charged to the Tigers. Number 3, Lucas Huffstetler is fourth.
Another foul on Huffstetler. That's his 4th foul. He's in foul trouble right now. Looks like he's going to be taken out by Anthony Hester. Not that bad of a move. If you want to save his shooting, you might as well save it for the end of the game just in case you have a chance to come back. But you cannot limit the best shooter on the floor right now with another potential foul.
Tigers, number 11, Anthony Hester. Checking in for the Dragons, Avery McKinnon.
It's gonna be Simmons taking the ball up. Getting pressured by 2.
Luke McBride trying to get active in the pick and roll.
Butler for 3. That's no good. The streak continues as McNeil grabs a big board.
Another foul, man. Arlington just continuing to bail out this Collierville Dragons team. Now with 10 fouls on the night, automatically in the double bonus. Free throws will be given to the Dragons every single time they foul, and that's the problem with playing so fast and so intense, is sometimes it comes back to bite you with those petty foul calls.
Hester didn't even look at the guy he was playing defense on. He just kind of slapped his wrist and said, go ahead and go to the line.
And this quickly went from a 5-point deficit, 26-31 at halftime, and now they're down 18. Arlington losing all track of scoring.
One of the big things that I think Collierville did at halftime was they emphasized the double team. They really started trapping them, and Arlington hasn't been able to do anything about it, as that shot that looked to be their best of the second half goes right over the backboard.
Checking in for the Dragons, Chris Jenkins.
I like that play, though, able to draw up a pick and roll from McBride that ended up being scattered, but they had an open look a couple times, just mishandled the ball. Arlington playing well right now on offense. I just think it might be too late.
Arlington might need to utilize the pick and roll a little bit more, because when you think about what Arlington has to offer, they have a lot of solid guard play, not as much big men. So if you can get the ball in the pick and roll, it gives you the option to either cut to an open big man, or you have the option to take it with the point guard, something that I think could work well if Arlington tried it. Timeout is called by the Arlington Tigers.
Again, this press by number 23, Tyler Warren, we barely even called his name tonight. So many guys for this Collierville team coming in and making a difference. It doesn't seem like who it is. Sean Taggart's system has you playing fast, and they're going to outwork you on the defensive end, and that's exactly what they've done. That's exactly what he did at college. He does have a foot on every single one of his players about, though.
That's saying something, considering they got guys at 6'8" over there. So what do you think, 6'10", 11 maybe?
Taggart? I'm going to go 6'10" and a half probably.
10 and a half?
Yeah, let me look at
that's not fair.
You don't think so? You think he's a 7-footer?
No, well, I'll go 6'11". We'll give it the over.
6'9".
There's no way.
I think Collierville's big men, while they may be tall.
Those kids are lying on their driver's license. There's no way they're 6'8".
Yeah, I think so too. Either that or Sean Taggart has grown since he got out of college.
I give myself an extra inch too. I say I'm 6'11" on driver's license. I'm 6'2".
It's a little more than an inch, bud.
We don't worry about it. Cruz Butler's going to take it up now. Kicks it up to VJ Simmons. Trying to get something going before the end of the half. They had 21 at halftime. They have 29 now, only 8 points in the second half.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
What a play there by Lucier.
In the open court. Gosh. Takes it in, no foul call, but Lucier's right there to put it back up and in. It's now a 20-piece.
And McBride just getting outworked on the offensive end. Lucier with a textbook play on the defensive end, fronting Luke McBride, not even allowing him a chance to catch the ball in the offense, just outworking him right now as McBride has been in virtually the entire second half.
Turner, Salem, and McNeil are all going to come in for Arlington at the next dead ball. We're going to see who they're coming in for, but I assume Luke McBride is going to be one of them.
That was a good shot there, though, by McBride, having 2 on the night now.
Too far of a pass there. Save, but Arlington's going to get the turnover here. We'll see if Cruz can get the bucket. Takes the contact. Could have been an and one, but they'll take the bucket anyway.
Good take there by Cruz. Arlington putting together a little run of their own. And in the backcourt right now is exactly what you want if you're trying to cause chaos in the defensive end.
Hester on Berkeley. Now you got number 23, Warren, trying to take it. That's no good. Luke McBride trying to get the board, but it just slips off his fingers.
3 guys subbing in now. 2 guys that have not seen action, Yusuf Salem and Will Turner. It looks like Brewer might be waving the white flag here. But good effort for the guys, at least in the first half. The second half they tried hard. They just got outplayed and outcoached by Taggart, knowing exactly what to do to slow this Arlington offense down.
A new group of players in the game for Collierville now as well. Number 24, Luke Rodier, back in the game, as well as TJ Thompson. It's not TJ Thompson, that's number 3, Jack Contrail, who apparently is one of their 6'8" guys as well, but he does not look 6'8" to me.
He does look like Jonathan Isaac, though. I'll give him that.
Jonathan Isaac probably is actually 6'8". I have a feeling he is not.
I think he's like 6'10". Oh, good shot there by Grady Turner, recent subbing.
16-point game now, trying to keep it respectable.
No, for sure, and I mean, when you have guys that have not played the whole game, they're a lot more fresh. Arlington maybe has a chance right now if they can get on the offensive glass and make sure they get a bucket every time down the floor.
Hester, they're playing a wide 2-man front right now, trying to get the ball up court, and it works. McNeil's got it, trying to put a move on him, kicks it out to Youssef. Tries to knock down a 3, is no good. Good shot, though. It was on the line.
Yeah, for being on the bench virtually the whole game, for him to come in and hit the rim and almost make that, that's solid for a guy that's been cold. That's going to be a miss there by Jack Cantrell. Ball is going to return to the Arlington Tigers. Good defensive possession there. And Arlington, even though they're out of it virtually, they've still got a chance and they're still fighting hard.
It's going to be Will Turner for 3. That's good, knocking it in, making it a 13-point game. Aggressive defense now.
Both the Turners get involved in the offensive end, trying to bring Arlington some life. I love that play there from Ant. Even though it was out of bounds in a kickball violation, it still stops the play, allows them to reset and face guard their man.
Good triple team there. Jump ball is going to go to Collierville. They're still playing hard, though.
Again, if you can keep the ball out of Collierville's hands for a long period of time, you might be able to score some points and fast.
Collierville's going to try to get the inbound deep back on the Arlington side of the court.
Taking it up, Dallas Berkeley, the sophomore. Collierville electing to go young. Grady Turner with that ferocious board there. He's always going to get on the floor and fight hard for every single loose ball. Yusuf again with the near make. Will Turner with the rebound.
Bring it in.
Doing the little
11.
things right.
Timeout on the floor. Timeout Tigers. Full timeout.
What a rebound by Will Turner, being able to see the defender coming in for the crash and making sure he waited to get that good shot up.
I'm really impressed with the youngness of the Tigers, though. Even though they lost a lot of guys this offseason, they still bring in a young group that will all play together next year, except for just a few guys. Looking at this JV team and the guys that are good enough to play varsity, Arlington has a decent future. They just got to keep their guys for, their upperclassmen years.
Which seems to be the struggle that Arlington has had over the past couple of years. They give Arlington the ball back on a turnover, a chance to make it a single possession game. And head coach Sean Taggart just laughing over there on the sideline right now.
Now you've got Chase McIntyre back in the game. He's a good shooter.
Steal there by Collierville, trying to put it to bed here. As TJ McNeil is back in the game. Arlington has 0 starters in. Collierville is working with what looks to be 3 of the 5.
They're trying to half-court press here to try to cause a little bit of chaos. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. You get a little bit too happy on your feet, and sometimes it leads to some bad fouls.
Foul charge to the Tigers number 12, Will Turner.
Sometimes playing a little rough means that you have to take a hit every once in a while. Number 33, Vandenberg, learning that. Maybe Collierville's head coach Sean Taggart's gonna maybe think twice before putting the starters in again with a minute left in the game, knowing that there's the risk of injury.
Well, not to pick on him yet again, but when you're used to blowing leads in the last 4 minutes of crucial games, sometimes it happens, but no shame. I'm the biggest Memphis fan out there, but playing it safe is always smart. But however, when Arlington comes on a run, I can understand it, but still, you're up 15, not necessary.
Well, Vandenberg is not going to be allowed to come back into this game, as he has elected somebody else to take his free throws for him. And who else than mouth guard is going to take the free throws for him? I mean, I wouldn't want anybody else on the line.
He's clutch, though.
He is clutch. Webb Thomas, his name. But in the day, he's known as Webb Thomas, but at night, they call him mouth guard. It's when the dogs come out. A lot of heart here from this Arlington team. Will Turner looking like he wants to square up, but he gets it back to Hester.
Got to score in a hurry.
No good, and that might be Arlington's last hurrah there. We'll see what they can do. As another foul is going to be called here at the end of this game. Very respectable, though. Arlington found a way to pull themselves back in it, only down by 13.
And no shame on you, Mr. Taggart. You're an amazing human being, an amazing person coming back to coach high school for Collierville. No shame, but as a Memphis fan, we just haven't been close to that national championship as we were in 08. I'm just really sad, and I have bad dreams about Mario Chalmers all the time.
Well, Jake had to make up for being mean to one of his heroes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ask forgiveness.
That's good, Jake. There you go. Arlington's going to take out some more of their key role players here and bring in some more fresh faces.
I like it from Brewer, getting everybody some varsity action, getting everybody involved, and solid showing here for Arlington, able to keep it close in the first half as Collierville looks like they'll be one of the top contenders in the district, challenging for at the end of March when all this comes to play. But I'm very impressed in Arlington and what they've been able to show today.
Well, Collierville's keeping their foot on the gas. Starters are still in. Sometimes considered a little bit of an unclassy move, but the game is well over. Starters stay in.
I like the intensity of the student section, though, staying in it despite being down 16.
This game is done, but Arlington's trying to stay in it.
I like the fight, and that's tough.
That's one of those courtesy things. You typically hold the ball out at the end of the game, It's a good showing from the Arlington Tigers, though. They do fall 58-40 at the end. It was a lot more respectable until those final minute and a half when Collierville brought the starters back in to finish it up.
Well, it might be a little bit of a kind of a I'll get you back, because Arlington kind of came back with 2-3 minutes left on the clock, made it a game. Coach Tiger was laughing over there, but still Collierville able to win big, which puts them at 4-0 in district play.
And 4-0 in district play is going to be huge, knowing that one of their biggest contenders this year is going to be Bartlett. Stacking up those wins before you get to that big game, assuming you think you have the confidence to win, still having that success and having that strength going into that game is going to be huge.
Oh, absolutely. Bartlett is absolutely loaded this year. Top 50, top 25 really in the country. You're going to have a lot of key guys when you're going against them, especially size. That's exactly what they've got with 3 guys that are at least 6'8". I'm pumped for this Collierville team. It was good to see them play today. Not their best game, at least in the first half, but they were able to pull away late.
Well, Evan is actually with the guy that you just called out about losing the Memphis game. So even though he's not ready right this second, we're about to get to him for a coach's interview for the win. So we're going to send it over to Evan right now. Evan, what do you got with the big man?
Fighting. The last few games we've been having, we really haven't been fighting hard. And I told the guys tonight we got to make sure we boxing out, make sure we're doing all the right things, but also make sure that we taking care of the ball. Our last few games we returned the ball over too much, and I feel like tonight we still turned it over a little bit, but I feel like we got better tonight.
Yes, sir. Who was the player of the game in your eyes and why?
Number 21, his name is Daryl Brady. He was the player of the game tonight, I feel like. I put him in. He was on the bench. He waited his time. When he got in there, he gave me max energy. He was flying around the court. He was being physical. He was getting rebounds, and I love that type of stuff.
Yes, sir. And how did you think, did y'all control this game? What was y'all's key to controlling the game tonight?
Well, honestly, I honestly don't feel like we really controlled the game at all. You know, these guys, they competed very well tonight. You know, I tip my hat off to this team, man. You know, I like the coach. The players fought hard. They gave us a test, man, and especially that first half. I think the score was 31-26. That's probably like one of the highest first half scores that we done played against. So, you know, the second half, we cracked down on defense, and we started locking up more.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time, and congrats on the W. Yes, sir.
And congratulations to you, Evan, for being able to interview Memphis legend Sean Taggart. Had an absolutely great night tonight. But that's going to wrap it up for us today. Upcoming live streams that we got Germantown Red Devils, boys and girls, next Tuesday. I'm pumped for that. Me and Brent are going to be back on the sidelines for that game. Let's get it.
Good night, y'all.
Peace.